Ready for action. Get me into battle, sir. I'm going in.
Oh dear, I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
How dare you?
Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. See, he plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, come on, come.
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what you wanted orange, an orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at the gas station.
Own your truth. You know, it was difficult. It was at first. I mean, you just cornered me like that and everything, but you know, it's a little liberating now to know I can like Star Wars in more ways than I ever imagined. Dave Filoni is the savior of Star Wars. KK is doing an amazing job. The people out there are just blind and can't see it. So yes, thank you. I can stop lying now.
Damn, that's not good.
Oh,
when
the
you get
NES and
instead of just like trying to slap something out like the Star Wars experience and crap, but when you have
don't
when you
don't.
I'm sorry, it's true though. It's
No,
like
I just got back from. Oh, I just died.
I just
How do
watched
I
that.
get-
It was hilarious.
How do I get back up there?
1 week later.
I don't know what I was doing, but from that angle, I just jumped.
you just walked right off
I
the
just
cliff.
walked
It was
off.
hilarious.
I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, that's funny. I was just like, do, and I was like over here, and I was like, woo. Oh, see, you thought I was gonna do it.
And he did it. All right.
Oh,
Oh, I missed it.
I was fully. I didn't know how to do it. I was just messing around.
Yeah,
and I
you-
put it with W.
Oh, that was gold. That was.
Way to go, buddy.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith number 137. Whew! It keeps on climbing, keeps on going. Here we are. And boy, do we got a lot of news tonight. It's been dropping thanks to fake Star Wars Celebration. They have been giving us plenty of stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight, along with maybe some Marvel slop. But for right now, I am your host, The Fractured Filter, and with me is, as always, my buddy, my friend, my compatriot in the madness of it all, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir? I don't know. There is just certainly a lot to cover. And listen, you keep vamping a little bit too, because I'm trying to get the stuff situated. I don't know what the heck you. Well, you didn't do anything. I apparently messed everything up because well, I was trying to update the whole social stream ninja, and I thought I did, but apparently it suddenly kicked the extension out of Brave. Why, I don't know. But it did. Well, and the thing was like it just now just seems to be doing this when I I could have sworn I redid everything. No, I fixed it. That's the that's what I don't understand. I'm very confused, very confused. And I'm just trying to make sure everything is fixed. Custom browser docs. Gotta put in the new apply. There we go. I didn't. Yes. Yes, I do. Oh boy. Oh boy. Like I said, this all right, apply that, close. See, this is, I overcomplicate a thing, and now it's just like, all right, but first let me just say hello to the chat really quick. I'll have to share it in a different way really quick. I'll just pop it up directly until things start loading into the extension. All right, there we go. I just want to say hello. We had Shaka Zulu, who was in first with the trophy there. Look at you. Melissa Lord saying, hey, Fractured Filter. Hello, Melissa. How are you doing? Gabriel Knight with the woo. The Briscoe 1234, new visitor to watching the stream. Hello. Waving at everyone. New York, Florida man saying, howdy there, folks. Hello. All right, gotta try and make sure it's grabbing chat. Let's see. Hello, Decrepit. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. The Backseater saying, hail everyone. Dan Blackroyd. Hello, sir. Saying, this is Hitman's punishment for his Thunderbolt's insolence. This is true. Okay, we've got the... oh, well. I don't know why it's not pulling the chat right now for Stream Ninja. What the heck is going on here? I should have stuck with my initial plan and just doing it in Restream, but I still had to try and pull it up. I still did this load OBS anyways, so this is on me. I can't say that I have. Nope. I don't see everything, man. Oh, don't worry. I've looked into the darkness plenty of times, but I have not seen everything, sir. Right? Okay. Ah, jeez. I hope it's gonna be pulling from it now. I have it connected with. Turn on, you. Oh, the technical difficulties live on. Okay, awesome. There we go. Now it's starting to show up in the chat, so I can pull it. Oh no, of course I can't. Where is the? I apologize for this, folks. I thought I had everything set and ready to go. I got thrown a curveball tonight. What can I say? It just figures. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Copy that. Throw that. It really does. Really does. So there we go. There we go. J Hitman's voice components are busted. I guess that makes Fracture Filter the Decepticon's new leader. Let's go. Says the Backseater. I'll take it. I will take it. All right. Okay. I think everything should be set. Oh, let me just go over to the article. Oop. Nobody needs to see that. Where's the display chat? Feature chat. There we go. It already okay, it already changed. Cancel that. Okay, cool. Okay. Whew. All right, folks. Thank you all for being here, especially for any of you wrestling fans. I know WrestleMania is going on right now, or at least I don't know if it's right now. I know it starts today of day one of day two of 2 days. But thank you all let's get this going. Hitman, do you want to start anywhere for all the news that we've got right now? Yeah, that's... And we do excel at that. Was there something new for Thunderbolts? Oh, shit!
Yeah.
Thank you, chat. All right, talk now, Hitman.
Hello? Testing.
I hate myself right now. I really hate myself right now because, again, I thought everything was working. I thought everything was fine, and I didn't check everything. There we go. Now, chat, can you hear Hitman as much as you may not want to? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
But hopefully now they can hear you. They've been missing your side of all the conversation right now.
I just been talking out into the ether.
Well, I've been making myself look like a crazy person by talking to talking to nothing.
You actually were just talking to I wasn't even talking to you. Who are you talking to?
Apparently myself.
You hear yourself and I. What? Did you have me on mute?
No, I didn't have you. No, I didn't have you muted.
Highly sus. It's because I was talking about freaking Assassin's
Okay,
Creed.
now I checked the stream. I can hear you now.
That's why. I was talking about Valhalla, and he's like, I don't want people to hear this, so I'm just gonna silence you, like the Democratic Party.
Wow! How dare you? Now I will mute you. You are muted now. All right, you're not. Okay, so like you said, we got a little pain, a little more pain.
A lot of pain. Well,
Yeah.
since the chat didn't hear, we have a lot of pain.
Yeah, a lot of
And
pain.
It's depend on like where we want to go and where we want to start. I mean, the most painful is Thunderbolts at the end, but we can supplement with some of the Star Wars stuff that's come out. Just depending on like where. Did anybody? Okay, so we were talking before the show. Did you watch any of the Star Wars Celebration?
I haven't watched any of the Star Wars Celebration. I've just been seeing all the news that has been dropping, and like I forgot who I saw coin it as well. But I've also like I put it in the title: Star Wars Fake Celebration News.
Right.
I thought that was, and I was like, you know what? That's perfect. That's exactly how it should be addressed.
Yeah.
So
For sure. I didn't watch any of it other than what I've seen on kind of social media. But what I find funny and not funny is like, where's all the projects that are coming out? I mean, there's projects, but I don't think they're anything new necessarily that we just get into it. I've posted a couple articles, but is there anything that has been released that we haven't already heard of per se? Like,
not that I'm too aware of.
So I'm a little shocked though. Like you're doing Celebration in Japan, right?
Right.
Like, you would think that like you would have more.
Yeah, Melissa Lord saying OMG Celebration is so lame. Well,
Dude,
like it is.
I didn't watch.
Like it is. We're not. I know. I think I saw Thursday night Rhino was like watching the whole segment stuff. We're not going to do that to anybody. We're not going to do that to you. We're just going to take the articles and stuff that's been put out there and the trailers, and we'll at least spare some pain. and cringe because Lord knows I can only take so much myself. So let me just hit the chat too, just really quick before we start jumping into some of the news here. And New York, Florida man had said, "Hail Fractured Filter for bringing us all together." Well, it was a team effort. Hitman's done his part too. It's all fun. We all spread each other's videos and stuff like that. We get around. Shakazul was agreeing with Hitman, even though I don't think you were being heard at the time. But I can appreciate that.
Agree with what? What did I do?
I don't remember now.
Very rarely do people agree with me. So what did I say?
Florida man says, "I'm pre-rolling everything for tomorrow. It's a holiday, you know." Yep, Easter. I have an idea of what I might do tomorrow for a gaming stream, so stay tuned for that.
Are you gonna play the new Apex?
Would you stop it?
What?
Backseater, Jay Hitman is saying so much, yet saying so little. That was while you were muted.
Oh, you didn't see the new Apex thing that came out? The new game?
How do you find out about this stuff? What are you talking about? What?
You haven't heard of it?
I can't say that I have.
It's literally all over Twitter. They're going to bounding it. Are you pulling my leg? Are you just saying this because you're mad because I told you to play freaking Shadows?
Maybe. But no, seriously, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
You have played Apex though, right?
No. Isn't that the game with the like tranny characters and stuff? So no.
The what?
Yeah, isn't there Apex? Isn't there like transgender characters and stuff like that?
I don't know. I'm not a gamer.
Well, that's obvious.
I'm gonna find this. I think you're. I don't believe you. I think you're. It's the Apex, the Fortnite thing.
Yeah, I really don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's start. Where do we start here? I don't know. Do you want to? Should we eat? I don't know if it's easing in with anything. Fuck. Let's go. All right, let's go with this. Let's start with Mandalorian and Grogu. How about that? Does that sound like a plan to you, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just 11 seconds? It's a little damn, that is a short ass teaser.
Yeah, that's 1 second. Like this was a celebration.
I could have sworn I saw more going on. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
At least for the Grogu shit. No, piss off EA Star Wars. Let's see here. I can go directly to the Mandalorian or Star Wars YouTube. And I'm really not seeing anything for Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, maybe there wasn't any.
I mean, that's just what if teaser and it's just like 11 seconds?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you put it in there, so I could have sworn I had some other news too regarding it. Yeah, I guess we'll just pop this up really quick. Share screen for you, Hitman. There you go. And we'll pop this on over. All right, let's see what the heck this is. Oh, gotta make sure properties. There we go. All right, can you see it in the Discord, sir?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's see what this 11 seconds is. All the hype, boys, all the hype. Let's go. That was it. That was gay.
Yeah. But yeah, literally 11 seconds. That's what. And again, I don't know if that is officially what was released at Celebration, but I saw that and I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is what we got.
I was gonna say, and I could have.
I guess this is what you produced.
Yeah.
Would be better. Like it's very confusing. Like you should. I don't know, man. It's like every year you do this, and the whole point is for you to want to, hype stuff up and create good content. Well, you should create good content. We know they don't, but you're gonna release 11-second trailer? Like that's almost as stingy as Greg Bowser saying, "Hey, we know you can't afford the Switch 2, so just go ahead and buy the Switch 1." It's almost as bad as it.
Almost, yeah. Yeah, I am just kind of. I could have sworn they had more floating around about it. Let me check X really quick, because I could have sworn I bookmarked some stuff.
Oh, if you did, let me know, because I didn't see it.
Oh, that's right. I did. I had. Hang on, I did have. This, because we did get. I got this from Robot Head. This clip sums up the state of Star Wars soy filled. So there was this. I don't know if you saw this.
No. When did you find that at?
It's a real Grogu here in Tokyo. Back in the game, yeah.
So the rare occasion when old Pascal is actually interacting with the Grogu doll thing, animatronic, whatever. I could have, and like I said, I could have sworn I had more than that for. In regards to the whole Grogu news, I could have sworn there's. Then there was also, I found this thanks to Greg Hates Everything. Oop. So I guess this is Rhoda the Hutt. So the design department typed "Fat Hulk melting" into an AI prompt, said Craig. And yeah, this was from apparently Star Wars Celebration. This beefed up Hutt, which I don't believe they ever got jacked, but they did fight. They could fight. Brutally so, but they could fight.
Who?
Hutts.
Really?
Yeah, in the one of the Han Solo trilogy books, there's a fight scene between a couple of Hutts. It's like I said, it's certainly a thing to behold, to hear for sure. Because I listened to the audiobook for it, and it's like, oh my god,
that's insane. Never would have thought Hutts could fight.
Yep. Well,
that was a nothing burger.
Like I said, I could have sworn there was some more stuff floating around about it. Other than... Yeah, like, I could have... Well, that's kind of chintzy. Yeah, I just have now, like, just some screenshots that have apparently leaked, and it's stuff that we've already seen. So...
Nothing burger.
Like it was just a very...
The only thing I'd bring up, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail with it, but the only thing I would say is, like, does it behoove you to do an actual movie or just keep doing a show? Like, I don't know, but hey. The whole
they
story
apparently
is
deem it worthy of a movie. I think they're just trying to get butts back in the theater seats and get people interested to see Star Wars in the theaters. But and this is their Mandalorian is their only hot property, quote unquote. So, yeah, take that for what you will. But
how do you make where do you make more money? The theater or I guess streaming? Don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
But again, here's the thing: like, if they do this, we're only going to get probably what 6 episodes, 7 episodes
of Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
if they did a show, that is.
They brought it back for another show.
And then we would spend, all the time trying to figure out, what's happening, like we did with Andor. Which I still haven't figured out where his sister is, so that's neat. Or the credits. So.
Still haven't found his sister yet.
No. Ridiculous. So I really want to know, just like, what are we gonna get, and is there gonna be a trilogy? I really don't care, but I would assume
they might see how it does, and then they might try one.
Oh, it'll do good because everybody loves Baby Yoda, even though that wasn't supposed to be a thing.
Yeah, God. All right, let's check some of the chat. Shaka Zulu had said, I haven't seen shit. LOL. Last year's is where all the Acolyte cringe lines came from, right? Yeah, pretty much. Or was that 2 years ago? I want to say that was last year's. Yeah. A lot of that bullshit that was coming out. Ugh. Backseater says, Star Wars Celebration 2025. Me, I sleep. New York, Florida man. How about the all-women space flight? I see Fantastic Four spoof trailer bit waiting to be made from it. At least I think that's fantastic. No, yeah. FF4
going into space that they didn't go. So did you see the video where like they open the door, which is supposed to be like not a thing, impossible?
No, I didn't see it. I just heard about the all-female space flight, and that was it.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, the cabin's supposed to be pressurized. You're not supposed to be able to open it from the inside, and they opened it from the inside, and then they closed it, and then Bezos came out with some tool and opened. Like it's so just like they're not even trying at this point in time. It's like it's just so and
manufactured.
A shuttle that re-entered the atmosphere like is just there's not a singular burn mark on it. Like, it's just it's almost just painful to
behold.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. But I also have, there's not to go down a conspiracy theory, but there's these videos where, Buzz Aldrin saying that they never went to space and blah, 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 and all this. I don't know, it's a fake whatever.
Yeah, take all of that for what you will. I've heard that too.
I saw this video where this lady was like, I'm so glad this is where our tax dollars have gone.
I mean, by all means, if you want to be excited about that, but I'm not in particular, but okay.
To see Katy Perry come out of the shuttle and kiss the ground. That's where all my taxes went to, or a lot of my taxes went to.
Yeah.
So excited.
Melissa Lord had said, Rhino covered it Thursday. Every segment was cringe as fuck. Even the Hayden interview, it was painful. Yeah, I saw that there was the Hayden interview. I'm like, dude, that's just sad.
What did he say?
I don't know.
I didn't watch it, no.
I can just imagine, though. Backseater says, Jesus was the first superhero character to die and then come back to life. Facts. Backseater also said the only transgender character in Apex Legends is Catalyst. Well, you know more than me. Hey, Nerdy Neo, how's it going, dude? Saying filter the boomer. Yeah, I boomered shit. I didn't know. I thought everything was cool, was good to go. Little did I know, everything was just borked. Dan Blackray says, what? We start with Thunderbolts? That's always been the format. Why are you doing this? I'm sorry, Dan Blackray. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you, man. It's all good. It's all good. I'll see if there's some new Thunderbolt stuff.
Probably not.
Oh, there is. There's Thunderbolts. The final trailer came out 3 days ago. So we got that. We'll do that next after that nothing burger.
A nothing burger that is nothing.
Backseater says, oh my gosh, yes, let's go. Star Wars is back, baby. Melissa Lord says Blake is upset and wants his Thunderbolts. He's gonna get it. He gonna get his Thunderbolts. New York Florida Man says that wasn't a trailer, that was a fucking title card. Yeah, I don't even see how you can constitute that as even a teaser.
You know what?
Florida Man then says, I bet so many people were expecting at least a snippet. Something, anything, man. Jeez. That's a big fat nothing burger. Dan Blackbird says, Reed looks great. Killer boots. New York Florida Man, mind the gap. Backseater says, every day that goes by, Pedro Pascal becomes a more and more fashion victim villain. Dude is weird. Just flat out weird. Melissa Lord says Rhoda the Hutt is jacked in the comics. I haven't read the comics, so I don't know. Was that even pre-Disney, or has that just been in Disney? Because I'm backlogged on comics. Captain Keeley, how's it going? Saying good day all. Hello, sir. Hello. Backseater says, so Jabba's dad Zorba having a beard was too much, but Jabba's son Rota being roided out is fine. I didn't even know about the Hutt having a beard. Damn. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Duke Devil, how's it going, man? Are you surviving Vegas and excuse me, your WrestleMania weekend? Hope you and Joker are having fun out there, dude.
I would just like to point out really quick that nobody liked my video that I sent with Bradley in it talking to Star Wars Theory. I'm very upset. I specifically found that and had no thanks.
I had nothing to say. It was, you know. Did you need your upvotes? Did you need your little thumbs up?
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry. I'll try to do better next time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Star Wars Marvel purist in the house. How's it going, dude? Celebrate good time. Come on.
Celebrate. That's funny.
Captain Keeley says, hello, whose dog was that? Oh, if you heard a bark in the background, that was probably mine. My brother was messing with my dog. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Saying nerds. Hey, you're in the right place. Briscoe saying it was all lies. Those ladies were the fastest ever in space. Let's see. I think we're about all caught up. Dan Blackray says movie of the year for Thunderbolts. You know it. Steve says my cat is physically assaulting me right now. Oh, so you got back. All right. Well, your cat tends to do that. Just also keep it from knocking crap over, dude. Shaka Sulu says Disney teases Nothing Burger harder than Twitch thoughts. Them's the facts. And Backseater says Jabba's dad Zorba debuted in the infamous Jedi Prince series, and he was the only character from that allowed to reappear. Interesting. I did not know that. Okay, so just as I promised, here we go. Thunderbolts final trailer in theaters May 2nd. Dan Blackroyd, this is for you, brother. All right, you ready for this hit, man?
No.
Well, you're gonna have to deal with it. Here we go.
Lena, being a hero, there is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale.
I was in high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
Ha! I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
But you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it.
Uh-oh, that song might get us.
We can't do this.
Turn it down just a little bit. Sorry, chat.
No one here is a hero.
We all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
We can't stop her alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
Well, they're definitely putting Yelena there at much more of the forefront, for sure. I think that was what her name is. Is it just me, or is Bucky kind of looking like Michael Biehn a bit? The guy from like Terminator and Aliens. Like he could be a new Kyle Reese. I don't know. Am I wrong, chat? I turned the trailer down a bit, Nerdy Neo, just because I started hearing the song, so I turned it down. It should have been It should have been. I know I selected the browser, so, but I turned it down when I started hearing the music. I like the trailers aren't bad for this movie. They're bringing a bit of intrigue to it.
Stay with black pilling.
Huh?
You need to stick with black pilling.
What? I got nothing negative to say.
That's shocking.
Listen, part of it is here's the thing. Part of it's very simple to why I don't necessarily have anything bad to say. Is that I'm not a turbo Marvel fan. I know the Spider-Man stuff, but when it comes to Bucky and these characters, the Thunderbolts and stuff like that, I'm a normie. I don't know these things. So when I see the trailers like this, they aren't egregiously annoying or anything of the sort, just because I don't know all the source material.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm not necessarily like completely turbo hating on it. you're not getting the black pilled fractured out of it. But yeah, I'm telling you, he looks like he could be a new Kyle Reese. I don't know. I'm just looking at something that's trying to bring a positive out of it and trying to get a conversation out of you.
Terrible. We can have a conversation about how bad it is. How
By all
terrible it
means,
looks.
tell me. What do you see that's so terrible?
Everything. The whole
Everything.
thing.
The whole
The
thing.
music, the graphics, the actors, the terrible fake Russian accent. You know, Gary Oldman does a more accurate.
That's true. But he's a fantastic actor. You can't beat him.
He is. But it's just more. Oh gosh, it's just. I guess I have this presupposition. No, it's not even a presupposition. Just based off whatever movie it was, Black Widow. It's just the whole Russian. That's just so. Why must everything be so sad and boring? How do you think this looks good?
I didn't say it looks good. It just doesn't look offensive.
You might as well by you saying it doesn't look offensive. You're literally saying it looks good because it's either black or white, one or the other.
And like I said, because I'm not a super fan of the Thunderbolts and everything, I don't know the lore. If I know the lore, I'll absolutely be able to go.
No lore. They're probably just made up for this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, but the thing is I don't know what they're bastardizing right now. The thing is,
everything.
Oh, I'm sure it's everything, but I don't know what that everything is. That's the crux of it. So like I said, I see this trailer and it doesn't. Not a lot of stuff jumps out at me as being egregiously horrible.
You just are a strange little man because you will sit here and say, "Oh yeah, this trailer doesn't look bad," but then we watched the Michelle or Obama.
Oh well, yeah, that left us
and you're
up
like,
to,
yeah, and then you're like, "Oh, this is trash." Like, I would much rather watch that one than this one.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I said it.
You can't be serious. You can't be serious.
Oh, absolutely. Brad feels the same way.
You don't know that. Is he still in the chat, Brad? Would you want to watch? You know what? I know exactly what he would say. Yes, he would agree. He would probably just to be that pain in the ass. He would say that he would want to see the G20.
Why do you think he sent it? Because he liked it.
Oh my god.
It's just, I just can't get into it. We're Star Wars Marvel purists. We need him. Is he still in the chat? Maybe he can shed some light onto this because it's just, I can't do it. I can't do it. One, I'm irritated because I don't know. I'm not a Marvel guy, but like they bastardized the Captain America Falcon because I always thought Bucky was the guy who carried the mantle after Steve Rogers. And
he was for a time as well. Yeah.
And then maybe Falcon. I don't know. I'm just over superhero movies in general because they're just bad and they bastardize everybody.
Well, and that's absolutely fair.
Get this Marvel humor, which is not humor. It's just annoying.
Well, it's them just still mimicking like basically what Joss Whedon did. That's all they're doing. They're still aping what he did with their first Avengers movie.
And
now, excuse me. Now it's just gotten more annoying and more insufferable. Yes, this is true, Duke Devil. Brad says Fractured hates strong, powerful black women. Confirmed. It's true.
Who does?
Me.
Probably.
Them's the facts.
You have nothing negative to say about this trailer.
Other than being slightly annoyed that they suddenly were throwing in freaking some Queen song in there. just because then I had to turn it down. But you know, I guess I'm neutral to it. I feel no hate, no ill will toward it.
These 137 episodes that we have done has softened your heart. Your heart has grown an inch. And I never thought I would live to see the day that you are defending just a hot, steamy pile of Chipotle pizza sushi crap on a plate.
Who's started? Hey! Who's recently started to get on the Bajoran hate train? That's right.
Well, I've yet to see if it's genuine or not.
Well, you know what? We're just got to get more bad Bajoran episodes.
Probably. Oh gosh.
You didn't even stick around. Did you watch Brad's replay? Did you watch his edit?
No,
because I gave that last episode a 2.
There you go.
And you gave it a 4.
Yeah. Because at least somebody died in that episode? No. Nobody did that episode. Yeah. Well, I got to be consistent, we can't be hypocrites, man. We got to be consistent.
My ratings for these episodes as of late have just been decreasing slowly but surely.
Yeah, and I don't know. Adam's out here giving out 6s just because.
He gave that last episode a 2 as well.
Oh, did he really?
Mm-hmm. You and Brad gave it the highest so far.
Well, Brad and I think we're cut from the same cloth.
He was a 3, you were a 4. Adam and I were both the 2s.
I was going to go to 3. I was going to go to 3.5, but I was like, I'll just go 4.
Anyway, Thunderbolts, theaters May 2nd. You decide to go if you so choose. I'm sorry, Dan Blackwood. I'm not going to see it. But this is fun talking about it like this and getting Hitman really riled up about it. Try and get me to play Assassin's Creed, will you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But Marvel Purist does agree. You're right, Hitman. Not a fan of mantles, but the run that Bucky or Brubaker did was a good way for Bucky to step into the role, and it wasn't permanent.
Okay.
Yeah.
But was he confirmed the second?
He was the second. Yeah, he was the second Captain America, basically, in the comics.
Yeah. Well, that's what that's what I want. I want stuff to stay true to the comics.
You would think it wouldn't be asking much.
This is a tired old argument because I've had people like, well, you tell me that you want a movie based off the comics? Like, absolutely I do, because I love the comics, and the comics shouldn't deviate from fundamentally the character.
Well, and when you're already
that's not to say you don't have people that come and botch the character. Definitely has happened in DC where it's like, Batman would never do that, or Nightwing was never that type of person, or this guy didn't do that. Like, I get that, but fundamentally, like, the character should remain the same. And the argument would be, well, that argument is just, it doesn't hold any water, because each writer who, bids on whether there's a bidding set, however they are able to take over the story run, they're like, well, they can do whatever they want. I was like, well, to a certain extent, sure, but they also have to get it past editing, and you should fundamentally just keep it the same. I don't want it.
I think if you are adapting storylines, yes, you should stay absolutely true to that story. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But if you are wanting, okay, I understand. Yeah, you can create some new stories with these characters by all means, but don't try and mask your quote unquote new stories just by repurposing previous done content and going, this is a new story. What all you're doing is just taking old plot lines and just trying to reorganize it, essentially, which is like what Disney Star Wars has done. Fuck you, Filoni, you piece of shit. So there we go. There's that bit of hate.
I just think you should stay true to the comics. And
I agree. No, I agree with you. Like I
people
said,
fight me on
anytime you are adapting brand new story or previously done storylines, just stay true to the storylines because that is what and at the end of the day, people want to see. So yeah, I agree. I agree 110%. I mean, that's what's even annoyed me. With some when the Japanese comics get adapted into animes and everything, because they don't always stay true to the storyline, either because they're trying to they've caught up with the manga itself, so they can't do much, or then they just add basically filler content in general to the storylines that doesn't need to be added, or they will censor things out from the original comics and stuff like that. It's like, no, I'll just stick to the original source material. Thank you very much.
Oh, and I guess I gotta be careful because here's, I'm not the most learned when it comes to the comics. So, I mean, there could be obviously a lot of movies that I hold near and dear that maybe don't necessarily follow the comics. So, I don't know. What I know about, I'll just use Batman example. What I know about Batman from the comics I've read throughout the years, I want a story that follows the comics, like from the upbringing, like every single, like from the upbringing to like everything that's happened in his life. Create a story that either follows the comics or flows. Don't break continuity, right?
Right.
Like this whole. I have an issue with like Nightwing, right? Dick Grayson, like, what's his name? Tom.
Huh?
Who the freak did? Well, there's what was it? He's an Australian comic book writer. He basically turned Nightwing gay. I was like, bro, like,
God.
Well, I forget the writer's name. What?
Wait, they turned Nightwing gay? When did they do that?
Yes. It was in his who was it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Fell bust while I look this up.
Didn't they do that recently though with what was it the Robin Tim Drake or
I thought it was Dick Grayson. Tom Taylor. Nightwing. And I turned him gay. I'm like, why? Like, why? It's like, well, yeah, and that's just, I mean, and people, well, you're just homophobic. I mean, no, like he was never like, that's not how he was originally written.
Right.
To my knowledge, like maybe I'm wrong, right? It's like, what? Like, what's the point of it, right?
Virtue Single, basically a show of conquering. They've conquered your comic book characters. They have repurposed them and turned them to the things that they were not. They have won the industry. They've taken it over. And this is just them rubbing it in everyone's face by doing stuff like that because I know it'll get people riled up and it'll piss them off.
Like, I'm all for like creative freedom in the sense I'm all for creative freedom as long as it doesn't contradict or break continuity, right? So I'll give you an example. If for 70 years or 80 years, Batman, Bruce Wayne, has consistently acted in a way and carried himself in a way, and then somebody comes in and writes a comic and it literally contradicts everything that he's done for the last comics have done for the last 60 years, I have a problem with that because 60 years outweighs your 12 books that you wanted to write, if that makes sense. Right? So again, this isn't like with Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, I don't want to misspeak, he was either the first or I always get it mixed up, the Robins. He was either I think he was first.
Who?
Tim Drake. I'm sorry, Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson was the first Robin, yeah.
Okay, yes, thank you. It was Dick Grayson, then it was Jason.
Then it was
Todd,
Jason Todd, and then
Tim Drake, and then there's actually 5. It was a Stephanie Brown, I think. But anyways, neither here nor there. But that's one point. Like again, I'm not super knowledgeable about Dick Grayson. I do know a little bit about Robin, but like he's a straight guy. Like, but somebody can say, well, you haven't read all the comics, and you're right, I haven't. But my general knowledge of that is that wasn't him. It's the same thing with Obi-Wan. Remember that whole shenanigans with that lady who was it? Remember when that was coming out? All that stuff was coming out. Sam Maggs.
Oh, what was going on again?
The whole Obi-Wan or Obi-Wan.
Oh, that stuff, yeah.
Right. So I don't know, man. We could talk about this for hours, but I want something that I want within continuity, and it's like, well, I shouldn't be surprised because we live in an era now where like nothing flows and everything breaks continuity and everything is getting retconned. Like, I would much rather them at this point in time just say you're going to retcon something. Don't fake it. Just come out and say it. Because nothing irritates me more than when you retcon something and you're like, oh, we didn't retcon it. Like, you absolutely did retcon it. Absolutely did.
Yeah.
Have the gumption to at least come out and say that we're going to do it, right?
So I just kind of did a quick Google search. I found this. It says at the end of his recent run on Nightwing, he also gave an anticlimactic ending by highlighting Dick Grayson standing at a grave, introducing his 2 new lesbian friends to his dead parents in another virtue signal. It seems Tom Taylor's obsession with homosexuality makes so many additions to these books, but I'm not seeing his Nightwing being gay though.
What's
oh,
that?
he's bi. He was. Oh no, he was made bi in Gotham Knights.
Oh, was that? I thought it was his Nightwing run.
Yeah, so yeah, and recently in comics, Tim Drake came out as bisexual, but that just basically means gay. But Nightwing has not. So in the comics, he's still straight.
Right.
And Tim Drake was the one that was made into the poofter.
Well, there's another one. There's a Superman. No, he was.
Oh yeah, Superman's son
Superman.
is yeah.
Yeah.
There's that one as well.
Hold on, I gotta look this up because I want to be sure.
All right,
like,
well you do that. Let me get to the chat. Let's see. Dan Blackroyd World can start healing in May. Just FOA, Yelena Belova is not Natasha Romanoff's sister in the book, says Backseater. Marvel Pierce says you've made Blake a happy man. We try and please the try and please the chat. Steve saying, quoting, "We're coming." Duke Devil says, "I'm on the plane back to Florida. Trek tomorrow night. Let's go. Looking forward to it. Have a safe flight, brother. Hope you guys had fun in Vegas." Shakazu says, "We need the woman who thirst trap for Bucky to carry this movie." Dan Blackroyd says, "We all regret things. Some people should regret more things, like people he finds in vents or Geth and Solarian teammates." You know what? I'm not gonna live that down, am I? Well, you know what? That little brat. Like I said, he should have followed me, but no, he chose Reaper Death. That's not on me. Backseater says, "Still no Baron Zemo, still no Goliath, still no Beetle, still no Moonstone, still no Screaming Mimi, still no Fixer." So they just stopped on a lot of stuff. Steve says, "Stop it, Gal Jr." Who's the Gal Jr.? Who are you talking to? And hey there, Timon, black-pilled meteor advocate himself. How are you doing, sir? Saying, "Hey, yo, Fractured Filter and J Hitman. Hope you're doing well." Let's see here. Everybody's greeting Timon. Marvel Pure says there are Wikipedia warriors on both sides. Timon says, "Not a single thunderbolt in this movie." You mean like literal thunder, like, from the sky, a thunder? Yeah, you're right, actually. Steve says, "Dude, did Fracture just call himself a normie?" I admit with certain topics, I am normified. I don't know everything. And I mean, that's just basically what it is. I just don't know certain shit. And I admit, I don't know. I just don't know. Briscoe says, "I don't know any of the Marvel stuff." You are one of the lucky ones, sir. You're one of the lucky ones. Dan Blackroyd says, "Thunderbolts, then Fantastic Four. The year will be great. Marvel is saved." It looks good. Duke Devil says, I'll explain how this Thunderbolts movie is not about the actual Thunderbolts tomorrow night. One of our side tangents. Very good. Very good. We're good at that. We very usually quickly divert over to Stargate when we're talking Star Trek. Dan Blackware says, Hitman just wants more G20 in his life. It seems he does. I already brought up that one from Duke Devil about me hating strong, powerful black women. Steve says, looks good. I'll go see it. He's psyched. He's hyped. Backseater says, it's official. Joss Whedon has been condemned by history. He should be. That twat. His only good show was Firefly. Let's be honest. I can't speak about Buffy because I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing it's just as paused as his later stuff. New York, Florida man. Yo, why the void gotta be black, yo? Hey, yeah, what the hell's with that? What are they saying? What are they saying? Is he part of a certain percentile? What's going on? Dan Blackberry says, all the trailer songs have been 10 out of 10. He's hyped. Marvel Purist, composed by Kevin Feige himself. Captain Keeley says, his heart grew 3 times that day. Welcome back, Decrepit. Welcome back, sir. Dan Blackberry says, the most successful producer in cinematic history doesn't have time to do the music, but he should. Damn it, he should. Dan Blackberry says, everyone is going. Dan Blackberry also said John Walker was before them. Let's see here. Backseater J Hitman, do you think it's possible to apply the manga to anime formula to Marvel Comics? I don't know if he's the one to answer that question. What do you think, Hitman?
It's offensive. How dare you? Yes, I could answer it. Not really.
I mean, I would
manga style. Writing,
so yeah, do you think it's possible to apply the manga to anime formula to Marvel Comics? I mean, like if they're doing anime, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it like oil? Is it like oil and water, oil and vinegar? I don't. That's a really interesting question. Can you use the manga anime formula and apply it to
Marvel Comics?
Marvel Comics, like the art style.
No, I think he just means like how usually from the manga to anime they generally stay pretty 1-to-1 copying it. Like I said, there are sometimes though divergence going on even in the anime and everything.
No, I don't think so, and this is why. And this could either make no sense or be super subjective. I think that we have seen that the Japanese tend to stay true to kind of what they believe or what they pass down. Example might be a dumb example, but it might fit like making katanas or swordsmanship or craftsmanship, right? Katanas have been were created, and that art of making it has been passed down through the centuries. And I think they're and beliefs, and I don't think so. And where I'm trying to go with this is because here in America it's so diversified, and if one group is left out, then everything goes just haywire. So, and I just think there's so many people that have different opinions. That's not to say that like people in Japan do. I'm just saying, like, from my point of view, it looks like they're very consistent on what they pass down and what they're very protective of their stuff. And I don't know if that makes sense, but in my mind it makes sense. Like, they're very protective in manga for the most part. I'm not a manga expert, but I think it's pretty consistent with what you get. I don't know of any, off the top of my head, anything that really contradicts as it's been passed down, if that makes sense. But within comics, absolutely. It has contradicted itself, from the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, the Gold Age, to
Yeah, they're always rebooting and restarting the universes and stuff like that.
If the formula is manga to anime, the consistency and staying true to the character, can you apply that to Marvel or DC? No, because everybody has their own. Everybody uses writers use it's a vessel in which they use to put their creative thoughts, I think, down on paper. Like Batman is a vessel to create whatever story you want to create and whatever you want to kind of push, if you will. And I don't think unless contractually or if I'm jumbling up my words. No. Answer is no, because nobody is going to be of the same mindset when it comes to writing that. You should at least fundamentally write Batman the same. You should fundamentally write Superman the same. You should fundamentally write Green Lantern the same. Darkseid the same. Joker at the fundamental level, they should be the same. That doesn't mean you can't put like plot twists or create a different story. But when you change the character,
That's where you
then
start running into trouble.
That's where the problem is, because that's where the inconsistency and the contradiction comes into play, right? When you do that, you almost make the character bipolar and schizophrenic in a perspective, like they go back and forth, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, he's progressive one day and he's conservative the next, and then next Tuesday he wants to be progressive again, and then the following Wednesday he wants to be a liberal or a libertarian, and then next month he wants to be a totalitarian. That might be a really dumb example, but that's what, like, you just flip flop and there's no consistency. It's like most people are pretty consistent with what they believe, right? Unless something tragic or something happens in life that would counter that, but they don't as a Christian, I don't turn Buddhist. I haven't turned to Buddhism and then back to Christianity or Muslim and then Islam or Catholicism or Mormonism. Like, I have stayed consistently once I became a Christian. I've consistently stayed a Christian, right? Really bad example, but like, I'm consistent, and I just don't think within the comic book realm, like, I don't think that's possible unless everybody's of the same mindset.
Yeah.
If you had writers that truly did not care about their ego and cared about the character and took pride in writing that character, then I think you might have a shot, right? But I don't think that's the case. I think, my subjective opinion, I think writers today are more focused about their ego and being like, oh, it's like we talked with Star Wars. Oh yeah, I worked on Star Wars, and they use it as a resume build, as a resume booster.
It's just that little
right?
thing that notch in their belt. Like, hey, I worked for Lucasfilm and did these scripts and stuff like that. Hire me.
I will say, though, there are writers who I do truly think do care about the characters. And I'll give you a couple examples, and then I'll yield the floor. Scott Snyder is one where he was trying, like, he wrote Batman with Greg Capullo, and it was explained, or it was told that, like, the editing from DC wouldn't let him write how he wanted to write, and pissed him off, and he went to Image, right? Not Tom Taylor, because he's not, there's like Grant Morrison, he's another one who wrote for DC, and they pissed off, and he left. He did a fantastic all-star Superman, absolutely fantastic, one of the quintessential Superman comics of all time, right? And there's more. I don't know on Marvel side, but I'm sure there's probably people who've written for Marvel who have done the same, who have left for the same reasons.
Yeah.
So. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I like you said, they'd have to really hold true to actually keeping everybody in line to wanting to,
But that's the difference between that. But that's the difference. And again, I'm not Japanese. I haven't done extensive research on the Japanese culture, but I do feel, and I've heard that they are very protective of what they pass down. Right? And I don't know if that's applied to manga. I don't know if that's applied to anime. I'd like to think maybe it would, because, like, within, like, Dragon Ball Z, for instance, or whatever, like, how consistent was Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z? Like, how consistent was that story? Did Dragon Ball contradict Dragon Ball Z, and vice versa, or did it flow and was it consistent to the the characters?
I mean, for the most part, yes.
I'm talking
but
about when I say contradictory, I'm talking about like egregious, like
no,
just
nothing
outright, like,
egregious.
Andor being,
it was just it's just
being,
funny. It's just funny that you point to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z because Akira Toriyama and himself admitted that he was notorious for forgetting certain elements. I mean, he forgot Launch, the character, so he did forget characters and stuff like that, but I can't think of at the moment.
Is that because there's 30,000 characters within Dragon Ball? I mean, is it just, oh, I just forgot main characters, or is he just forget?
It's just, the serialization nature also of shonen manga, just how they are releasing like usually like between like 12 and 15 pages a week. And they're doing that week by week by week by week by week. There are some authors out there that can take their time and maintain things like I just mainly know from like Kentaro Miura with Berserk, but he became notorious himself for long breaks in between chapters as time went on. But it's the whole shonen manga scene is brutal for the artists, for the writers, but usually the artists, the people drawing it are also the people writing the story, and then they're having their meetings with their editors and stuff like that. They make certain choice decisions and everything. It's brutal, like and they get their breaks and everything, but like it's just such a crazy pace. So yeah, things sometimes get lost to the wayside, and Toriyama, like I said, was notorious for that. But then usually adapting things, like I say, from manga to anime there's generally a consistency to it. They're usually staying close to the script of the manga for the most part. And I think that's what Backseater is talking about. Can they do that for Marvel? And honestly, yeah, like Hitman was already saying, I don't think they can either, because that also means, like he says, you need everybody on board. You need the whole writing staff on board. You need to maintain that writing staff, because that's the nature of this beast for Western comics, is that they're always rotating out writers. And even for then you're taking it to a movie or to a show, some movies have multiple script writers. Shows will have sometimes multiple showrunners that leave, come back, or just leave entirely. Writing staff, same thing. They'll leave, they'll come back, or some do maintain those people for a while, but they don't maintain that consistent tone. So things always are changing up quite often, and without that consistency, and that's also why I've said it before, where I have my problems with Western comics, because the comic book characters go through so many different writers that everybody has their different perspective of how the character should behave. That certain things, yes, are maintained, but like other elements of storylines and stuff like that just go, oh, wackadoo. So, and that's why I gravitated towards manga, because it's one author taking care of the whole story, doing the artwork. There's consistent artwork. You're not changing artists and stuff like that. It's just a consistent tone, feel, and all that as they go through. Sometimes artwork does change in terms of like maybe improving, slightly different styles here or there. Funnily enough, like for the series like Naruto, I preferred the early art style to then the full, like especially like full digital art style that I just full on went into. And that's been also my kind of thing. I have not been a big fan of a lot of the digital art manga stuff nowadays, but that's my own little nitpick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be very difficult to adapt with Marvel Comics, trying to maintain that consistency and everything. Personally.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I agree.
New York, Florida man in here, it said, Kingpin out here crushing skulls like the Mountain for that dude just stood there and took it. I heard about the head pop. Yeah. And that's what I thought. I was like, wait, didn't they did that in Game of Thrones? Why is everybody acting like, oh my God? Florida Man also said, Born Again episode 9 was just teaser for yet another villain arc that probably won't go anywhere. I stopped watching Daredevil myself after the first 2 episodes. And then I had just been watching Duke Devil 95's reviews because I just couldn't be bothered. I was like, you know what? As much as interested as morbidly curious as I was to find out what the backlash was going to be for Matt Murdock beating the shit out of 2 cops and one of them looking like he nearly killed the dude, I just couldn't be bothered to care. And then once I heard from Duke that basically they didn't address it at all, I'm like, oh, of course, that's how they would do that. Even though Matt was not wearing a mask or anything, plain clothes dude, and he just beat the shit out of 2 cops. I mean, I know there are crooked cops, but he still beat the shit out of 2 cops, and it was their word against his, and yeah. Anyway, Duke Devil says, let's bring on the A-Force movie. In light of hugely historic and miraculous flight of the female astronauts, it's time. Prove me wrong. Why not? Backseater asked Tom Taylor did it to Nightwing. We cleared that one up. But yeah, Melissa Lord confirmed. Yeah, great. Dick Grayson was the first. Briscoe, obisexual one. Dan Blackroyd, Jonathan Kent. It was. Yep. Marvel Pure says, perfectly logical thinking. Hitman, 60 years versus 6 comics or sometimes panels. I always talk about them skipping over all the well-written source material and adapting shit from bad writers. Yeah, they just stick to their own kind, pretty much. Although even the good stories are written by usually heavy lefty tier cucks, but they do well hiding the pause and that stuff. Backseater says Hitman is thinking of Jonathan Kent. That's who Tom Taylor ruined.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes.
Yeah, you're good. Shaka Zulu says Superman's son is different from Superboy, right? Yes, I believe Oh, never mind. Backseater, yeah, answers that one. Marvel Pura says, I'm not even against not doing a direct adaptation as long as the blending of the story honors the purpose and the theme of the original story. Obviously, closer to direct adaptation generally produces better results. Yes. I this is how much of a spastic I have generally been and always have been. I still remember when I watched the 90s Spider-Man comic, not comic, but the Spider-Man cartoon show that they did in the 90s. And, for the most part, it's like, yeah, I think I do agree, purist, but there are certain things like I believe, yeah, like big storyline events need to maintain the pure adaptation material. Like I don't think there are certain things you can divert from it, because I remember I was at a friend's, either just at a friend's house, or it was during his birthday party, and I have this spastic fit. But it was the episode in it where they do the whole Mary Jane falls from the bridge and all that, which was basically supposed to be Gwen Stacy. And even though like I was just starting to get into the Spider-Man comics and starting to find out more and more and more, I just was like, this is wrong. I was about ready to like write a letter almost, like, how dare you do this? How do you not maintain the direct source material on this? Listen, what can I say? I've always been very adherent to maintaining storylines as well. I can let certain things slip, but that was even a thing that I did have an annoyance with the Raimi Spider-Man. Learning, yes, that they intended Goblin to be more for 3 movies than just the one, but the studio got scared, so they they executed that movie the way they did, but you know, as much as I do love that the Raimi movies, there's that major divergence that still irritates me nonetheless, because that to me is such a pivotal moment for Spider-Man as a character, as a superhero, and that tragedy is big and hit for his life, just like Uncle Ben. And I think it needs to maintain, certainly it's to honor that storyline for sure, to like direct adaptation. So that's my thoughts on that one too. Shaka Zula says, yeah, I know Connor. So like they gave him a new son just to make him gay. Yeah. They aged him up too, as I recall. They like aged him up so they can make him gay and do the whole gay storylines. Let's see here. Dick Rabbit false advertising. Marvel purists, better to admit not knowing some than pretending like you do. That's one of the chronic problems on YouTube. Yeah. That's not just YouTube. That's just a chronic problem with people in general. Nobody wants to say they don't know something. They'll just go ahead.
Well, I just want to interject real quick. That's one thing I really respect about Justin, Star Wars Marvel purists, is he said in a post, well, it was when he was talking to Star Wars Theory, he's like, I'm very fact-based, I'm very factual, and before I bring anything to the table, he researches it. So I just want to be humble and say I don't know everything about DC. I knew that there was a story that Tom Taylor did turning character gay. I thought it was Nightwing, but so I just wanted to just thank Justin for his ability, his just want to be accurate and whatnot. Okay,
yeah, absolutely. But that I just find that to be a problem with people in general. They never want to admit they're wrong. They always flounder. And I tell people this even like at work. It's like, don't be afraid to tell one of the customers, sorry, I don't know that, but we can get the answer. Because like I tell people too, you got a little, you got your own little computer in your back pocket, usually your phone. And like I tell people too, it's like, just make a good kind of joke of it. It's like, hey, I don't know this, but let's find out together, and then you can bust out your phone, do some quick Google foo and find the answers. There's nothing wrong with even that, finding some answers, but it just seems to be a problem with people just being too scared to admit they don't know something. And then as I'll also say, it's like, I'm happy. I'll be happy to be wrong. It's one of those things, and just so long as I learn the correct answer or find out the correct answer, that's all that matters. But I won't pretend. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. I do. But there's the exception to that. The exception to that is like when somebody wants to buy a PS5, I will tell them that it is subpar and just a machine compared to Xbox.
I do not doubt that for 1 second.
Yeah. I tell them, save money, don't buy the PS6.
Exactly. Briscoe says, I prefer the Buffy movie over the series. It's been a really long time since I've seen the movie. I know I've watched the movie at a friend's house before, but that was a long time ago. I might have to check that out again. Shakazula says, manga has been copying American comics storytelling. Actually, manga used to be long, continuous saga. Now they do small, contained stories they call arcs. Yeah, they've changed their styles too, but for the most part, like I said, always the nice thing about mangas is that they've generally kept their one writer and stuff like that. You aren't switching people out through different runs and everything. That's what always has just kind of bugged the shit out of me, because then the storylines just feel different. They take on different tones instead of maintaining some consistency. And that's all I'm asking for is just a little bit of that consistency. And again, the artwork too, because especially when there's an art style that I enjoy and then it suddenly changes out, I'm like, no, it's the worst thing. Marvel Purist says then Morrison came over to Marvel and fucked up the X-Men by rebooting them. Oh no. I think I've heard some people bring that up. Yeah. Dan Blackroyd says everyone was happy at Marvel. It's a magical place. Shaka Zulu saying same. Hey Greg, how's it going? Saying bullshit. You got into it because you thought there was going to be subway groping, panty sniffing, and tentacle porn.
Actually, what are you into?
Listen. We go to dark places on the internet, okay?
I guess so. Sure.
But no, he's referring to the Japanese manga and stuff.
Oh, only you can protect Squid.
Indeed. Shaka Zulu says Naruto had lower budget and had to get creative using different art styles to cleverly draw pages faster. I think that has more charm than every page having full details. It gets stale. Duke Devil says, good news. Mark Hamill is back on Twixter. Well, I didn't even know he left. Since I don't follow him, I just don't care. Dan Blackbird says, Greg agrees on all the Spider-Man points. Oh boy. Greg says, sorry, did someone say that he is a pathetic, whiny crybaby pussy? Damn it, I didn't know Greg was going to be here. Or else I wouldn't have opened my mouth about Spider-Man. Blackbird says, nobody said that. Greg says that there is nothing to agree with. Oh, Marvel Pure says, appreciate it. That's why I don't really cover DC. It's not like I'm a normie, but don't feel I know enough to cover it respectfully. That's fair. Dan Blackbird says, dem back pocket computers make miracles happen. Yeehaw! Yes, they do. Gimmick infringement. Oh no. Shaka Zulu, it's not hentai, I swear. Okay. All right. What you know what? Let's go on to some, I don't know if you want to say this is good news or if this is bad news. It's just kind of news. And I'm not sure how to go about this one. Because this is gonna be about a favorite TV show of mine. I don't know. You've seen it too, I believe, Hitman. You got it in Discord, sir?
Which one is it?
Do you not see it in Discord? It should be there.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a show though.
So, comedian John Lovitz and producer Al Jean want to revive their cult classic cartoon, The Critic. It stinks! Anyways, revivals are all the rage, and if the trend stays strong, as excessive as it's getting, another long-awaited reboot could be in the works. Beyond that, the original series creators want to see it happen, which is always a good sign. But things change, good sir. Things change over time. People change over time. Actor, comedian, and Saturday Night Live cast member John Lovitz thinks it's the time is right to bring back one of his most memorable but short-lived shows, the 1990s primetime cartoon, The Critic. What's more, the series co-creator Al Jean is also up for the idea. Critic fan. Oh, so yeah, here's John Lovitz's post from X. Critic fans, you keep telling me you want it back. I've been trying for years. Well, now creator Al Jean is on board. If you want it back, we need your help. Please like this post and spread the word so we can show the studio how many people want it. Al Jean would second the notion in his own post by canvassing his followers. Here it is. Just curious, how many would you like to see The Critic with John Lovitz return? It has only lasted two seasons and bounced between networks as well as nights, but The Critic has held a place in the hearts and minds of everyone who watched it back in the day. Though they might not have come out in force, arguably, the show was done in by everything working against it. Neither the regime at Fox or ABC, where the series began, had much faith in it, and matters weren't helped by the irrational grudge Simpsons creator Matt Groening held. Really? I was unaware of that little tidbit. While the critic was billed from the creators of The Simpsons, Groening had nothing to do with it. As such, his gears were grinding with a gnawing screech when the tunes crossed over in The Simpsons episode "A Star Is Burns." From that point in 1995, both series shared a block on Sunday nights for one season until the critic was canceled. I can't help but kind of laugh after recently going through like a Futurama doc, kind of little mini doc on YouTube, and how many times that show was canceled. I think some karma might have bit him in the ass if he was this angry or resentful towards the critic for whatever reason. Except for the one appearance by Jay Sherman in Springfield, the two shows had nothing to do with each other. That I never figured they had anything to do with each other to begin with, so I don't know where any of that came from. Originally conceived as an offbeat spin-off starring Krusty the Clown in New York, the critic followed the misadventures of Sherman, voiced by Lovitz, in the Big Apple, juggling his career at a TV station with fatherhood and a rocky love life while coming to terms with his zany bourgeoisie upbringing. The series was created by former Simpsons showrunners Al Jean and Mike Reese, and featured the voice talent of Lovitz and Maurice LaMarche, who periodically performed his Orson Welles impersonation to hawk fictional products like Rosebud frozen peas. Oh, yes. Both men have been prolific behind the microphone for decades and could have the energy to reunite and tell us what stinks one more time. Nothing has been announced yet, but that will be up to the fans and any network or streamer who sees an opportunity. So yeah, I feel like this is gonna be kind of another one of those monkey paw situations. You need to be careful what you're asking for here, folks, because while yes, you have nostalgic feelings for the show, I certainly enjoyed the hell out of the show. I've gone back and rewatched it and I've enjoyed it. It's always a crapshoot, always. And honestly, I am fine with just the 2 seasons we got out of it. We don't need any more. The idea, it stinks. Sorry, just to bite off of that one. It's basically kind of one of those things of the time. Not everybody kind of looks for that kind of movie critique. Because, I mean, like it was, he usually roasted all the movies that he was reviewing. And I'm sure that's why, some people get a little tired of my ass, because I'm always usually shitting on video games and stuff like that. They're like, I don't want to hear this. This guy being negative all the freaking time. So, I mean, to me, part of it kind of always, at least like when I watched the show, and when I got into something like Mystery Science Theater 3000, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of getting like certain vibes that are feeling the same. They're riffing on movies, but in different ways. One is like riffing on actual movies, and then in this, they're riffing on movies, but they're spoofing them at the same time. So, I think that was kind of the charm for me for the critic. But yeah. I thought I tried to find to see if I made a post on X, because again, monkey paw. So yeah, that's kind of my feelings. I don't like it. No, thank you. How about you, sir?
I've never seen it, but it gave me Hey Arnold vibes.
That is an odd thing. I don't know. I don't see how.
What do you mean? The character looks like Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold.
This character here, Jay Sherman?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a football head.
Just the art style, not Arnold, but it's just the art style.
I guess.
Yes. You see it? You don't see it?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't.
How do you not see it?
I just don't. It's a different art style altogether, sir.
You are a strange, strange little man.
I can't see what I don't see, sir.
Then open your eyes and you shall see.
I can't see what you're seeing.
I don't understand that at all.
So you never saw The Critic at all?
No.
Oh, I thought you had.
No.
Oh.
I watched Hey Arnold.
I'm getting that vibe. Yes, I understand. Okay.
I watched Doug.
I remember Doug. I remember that show. Yes.
I remember King of the Hill, Bobby.
I got King of the Hill in the background on right now.
Bobby.
Well, catch you later, backseater. Thanks for hanging out, saying Fracture Filter and Hitman. I'm off to do my show. See ya. Have a great show, sir. Okay. Well, like I said, this doesn't need to be done. It's leave it in the past. And if you really need to create something new that's similar to what they did, but ultimately just make a new property. Quit living. It's funny. I'm going to say quit living in the past because I very much live in the past by playing old video games all the time, but leave the shows alone. And I'd even say leave video games alone too. You don't need to remake. You don't need to remaster. You don't need to reboot or do anything. Just, especially, if it did gain its cult following, cool, great. Leave it at that. It doesn't need anything more than that. It's got its love. It's got its appreciation. You found that audience one way or another. Leave it there. So that's my final thoughts on that. How about you?
I will always tell you to leave stuff alone, especially if it was good stuff. So
agreed.
This whole concept of rebooting stuff is just because nobody else can. It's like you reboot it because you just can't come up with anything better. And I will once again divert to my analogy of the WWE. You can't create any good storylines, so you just bring back the legends. However, I had a buddy of mine at work did tell me that this. He said, what's going on now in the wrestling realm is almost as good as the Attitude Era, and I almost caught a charge. I almost had to slap him. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you say that? So.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You're always finding your way into trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, because you're never there to help me out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Greg Hates Everything says, does manga try to do idiotic universes where Earth has an impossibly silly number of magic retards? Thankfully, manga stays pretty strictly to the one universe that they're creating. And there's been the rare occasion when some mangas do have spin-off books from the main source, but they generally don't do multiverse stuff unless it's already directly part of the story. And again, it keeps contained and to a point. And like it is, they don't go too heavy or rely on it that often. It's usually just one universe. I guess the isekais are kind of multiverse sort of stuff too, where the person like dies and then gets transported to another plane of existence altogether.
Another trope I hate.
Yeah, it's goofy. I don't really care for those myself. I haven't gotten into too many, so otherwise they all maintain a singular universe for their storytelling that I've read. So Dan Blackbird says, is G20 getting a sequel? Oh no. Oh no. And he says, we will have to wait and see. Greg saying, no, thank you. I believe that's to the critic. Or maybe to something else. Shakazula says, bro, just rewatch the old ones. You couldn't tell it was made 15 years ago. You're just going to ruin it. I agree. That's exactly, just leave. I mean, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Briscoe says the critic wasn't even a good show back. How dare you? I love this show. That was good. It was good. I liked it. Greg says his voice is annoying as fuck to listen to and full of dumb gimmicks that get repeated. Well, you didn't like the buy my book. Buy my book. Okay. Black Roy says April 19th, World Simpsons Day. I didn't know that. Greg says it should be a reboot where a bunch of morons join together on one big panel on a specific night of the week and say it's woke, unless they have access to the cast or crew. Oh, you gotta make sure and add that in there. If they can get that access, that changes everything right there. Dan Blackbird says he looks like Harmar Superstar as a cartoon. And then says before Saturday and after Thursday. That's a good time slot, Greg. Shockazula is saying it's not outdated. It still applies to today. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna add to it? I don't know what they could do to freshen up a show like The Critic. It was pretty straightforward with what it had to do. Greg says one guy can even be in charge of putting a frozen pizza in the oven for over 15 minutes and then contribute nothing. And then get talked over, and then just kind of keeps for thinking about the same guy. Just never says a damn thing and just stays quietly in a corner. Shakazula says Nintendo does more multiverse shit than manga and anime. Yeah. I'd say if you want to get into the multiverse bullshit, manga doesn't do it so much. Their video games do though. Oh boy. Certainly like the Final Fantasies always felt more multiverse to me, singular stories, but at some point they have been trying to go, no, this world is connected and that world's connected and this is connected. That's connected. It's like, oh, they did it with also Legend of Zelda series, which was to me was more of a multiverse thing. Now they're trying to include it into a singular thing. Dan Blackbird's now saying, have you seen Dragon Ball Super? I take Dragon Ball Super as Toriyama's own midlife crisis sort of thing. When he started that up, he for some reason felt a return to his old popularity, and he wanted to revive Dragon Ball, allegedly because of some of the one bad American live action adaptation of this franchise. But sadly you're not wrong. Technically, as I heard, they were kind of both now Dragon Ball Super and also Dragon Ball Daima were meant to be considered their own kind of storyline universes. I'm just like, fuck you all to hell. I don't like that idea. Piss off. So yeah, I have so many gripes about Dragon Ball Super. So many. My dog.
Do you like it?
No, not particularly. I tolerate it, but that's about as much as I could say about it.
You tolerate it, however, you found nothing wrong with Thunderbolts. I'm sensing a pattern here.
Like I said, I don't know much about Thunderbolts. Dragon Ball, on the other hand, I am a fan. I enjoy Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And I even, to a certain degree, did like some of the stuff out of GT. But
not Super.
Super is pointless because it... All right, if we're going to get into it. All right, so part of my big...
Go ahead. Yes.
One of the big gripes is where it's taking place in the storyline. It's supposed to be that in between time of the end of the fight with Majin Buu, but before the full end of Z, when Goku goes to the Tenkaichi tournament and meets up with Oob and takes him off for training. So they're for some reason, even though dialogue contradicts everything going on. Oh, Bulma, I think it was Bulma at the end for the end of Z segment, is complaining to Goku about how the last time they saw each other was like, I don't know, almost like a decade or something, or not even. It was supposed to be a big stretch of time, which doesn't add up with the Dragon Ball Super continuity, because it's like they've been hanging out like almost nonstop because it's just the Goku and Vegeta show.
Goku and Vegeta show.
So yeah, I have my problems with that series just from that standpoint, and then I tried to kind of be like, the whole Dragon Ball, the Super Saiyan God, it's not bad, but then they started just throwing multiple colors on top of it. They got, to me, it's 1 through 4. Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 being the pinnacle, the cross monkey form. Although now Daima has adapted that. It's a mess. It's all a mess. It's a fucking mess. They needlessly they needlessly overcomplicated something that didn't need this. This is chaos in action, folks. They overcomplicated a basic bitch series that didn't need all this added shit. It just needed to tell the story that it told and leave it at that. That's it. It was done. It was fine.
It doesn't sound bad. I think are you sure?
Now you're getting. Don't you start. Don't you start.
It doesn't actually sound bad. Half bad. It's like the food that like Gordon Ramsay eats on Hell's Kitchen, or not Hell's Kitchen. He goes and eats the plate of food, and it's like that's half not bad. I'd eat it. I'd watch it. It doesn't sound bad. You have failed to describe
the only reason I've read and maintained reading it was the fact that it is just basically it's just some Dragon Ball content to check out, and I've been kind of needing extra stuff to try and read, but like it's again just not. It's all like either kind of rehash or just it's the problem with that series too is that you already have the Dragon Balls that can make a wish that people can revive from death and stuff like that. So the Dragon Balls already took a lot of suspense and everything from the series, because all you have to do is collect all 7 Dragon Balls, and especially with Dragon Ball Z, they made it really goddamn easy to find the stupid things thanks to Bulma and her goddamn radar, and then the fact that they could just start flying everywhere. So that's the problem with the series in general. But then when you get to Dragon Ball Super, when you're in that in-between timeline, there's no threat whatsoever, because they can't die, because that they make it to the end of the series for that whole segment. So they're already running into even more problems. At least with like GT, they took it to a point where it was after continuity had already been built and established and stuff like that, and they tried to create they were trying to kind of do their own Star Wars thing in a sense, where they're continuing the storyline with maybe some approval stuff from the main creator, very light approve, like they didn't consult him on everything, but mainly got like art designs for characters and stuff like that from him. But they tried to continue something. They also, I think, in a fun way, in a neat way, tried to remove the ease of access and just kind of having the Dragon Balls in the form of, especially when they got towards the end with the fact that then you had all the different dragons that came from it, and they were basically being punished. Oh no, sorry. Reverse. So is it in this basically the start of the series that they lose access to the Dragon Balls, because then it was called the Dragon Balls were putting out negative energy effectively for all their like selfish wishes and stuff like that. And then that does continue over into the end, where you get the 7 dragons that come from the Dragon Balls to fight. And there's at least something that they tried to do to, bring some threat back to the universe a little bit, but they just didn't. And
so with all that being said, I failed to see what the problem is.
Kid show. Anyway, Dan Blackred said the critic was Doug for adults, boring and visually displeasing. Oh, wow. Star Wars Marvel Pierce says, not a fan of multiverse or time travel unless it's centered around a character that is a time traveler, i.e. Cable or Bishop, or a one-off multiverse story, Age of Apocalypse, not to use as a storytelling crutch. I agree. There's very few, especially very few storylines that handle time travel well. One of my personal favorites is a video game, and it's the Legacy of Kain series. Like, I felt like they did for time traveling vampires and shit. I felt they handled the subject very well in that matter of storytelling. They didn't abuse it. They didn't use it for Deus Ex Machina crap. They used it very effectively, and they maintained a lot of, continuity and consistency with what they were doing. Shakazula says, I never watched Super, but that's a good point. Black Red, what did Greg says, I despise multiverses, but what I was talking about was a single universe in which all the characters from a publisher exist in the same world at the same time. Oh. No, like I said, they never get too large storylines, except for maybe like something like One Piece, but they don't. Sometimes they'll do special crossovers, but they're not canonized usually. They're just fun one-offs. But no, not like one all-encompassing universe with all the characters in one. No, not like a Marvel, not like DC Comics. They're all everybody's stories, they're all their own self-contained things. The thing is like with shonen mangas, you take this, good or bad, they are basically beholden to fan vote-ins and stuff like that, readers that, get shonen manga and vote in. So the thing is, like, any manga series can either live for a very long time or be very short-lived and abruptly end. So they aren't all tied to one all-encompassing universe. They're all their own unique, sometimes unique. Some of them you can kind of see like, who they were inspired by. But they are their own unique storylines, and the ones that really capture readers is what certainly lives on and it becomes the mainstream for Japan's manga scene and stuff like that. There are some that are offshoot that are not as popularized, but it's very, very, it's like I kind of touched on a little bit. It's tough. Like this very, very aggressive scene. Dan Blackberry says Dragon Ball is one big multiverse now. It's something, all right. Greg says they tend to become a convoluted, gimmicky mess with guaranteed power creep. Yeah. The thing that I've liked about manga, though, generally, is that they have an end. They'll get to an end point. And they aren't like these massive, continuous run-ons forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, like a lot of the Western comics are. They just don't know how to. The Western side seems to really have a hard time ending a series. The one series I could think of right now with manga is One Piece, but that's just the creator, I guess, is just fucking crazy, and apparently is just really trying to write this massive story to keep it going. Black Pill Timon says Toriyama is not a saint. Dragon Ball was supposed to end with Frieza, then they gave him a bag of money to continue. I've heard, yeah, that's been one of the big themes, and that was when they were going to switch over to Gohan much sooner. There's a lot of different stuff that floats around about that. The Kenzanshu has a lot of that stuff, all documented. So I forget all the exact things on that subject, but it seems to be kind of like a bunch of different stories to it going on. Shakazulu says Timon might be right. Doug for adults. Melissa Lord says Back to the Future and Time Cop and Terminator 2 time travel right. Everything else I've seen fucks it up. Back to the Future, just because that's one of my favorites, and yeah, I mean, I could pick it apart just because it's like but that's kind of nitpicking a little bit. Otherwise, from just like it's a good, well-contained story. It's just like I always then start asking the questions. Well, okay, but they had to start from a 0 point, right? There had to be that. There's one universe that is not changed or anything of the sort. There's that boring storyline that, but where does it all start and begin and end? And anyways, my brother and I have gone into conversations about it. It can be fun. It's like a fun little thought experiment. Dan Blackbird says Endgame is the best time. Let's not go there. Prequel to Thunderbolt. Greg says, so to summarize, to save Marvel, Spider-Man must die. Absolutely. Kill the bug. The bug has to go. Only good bug is a dead bug, right? Dan Blackbird says time travel is the thing Star Wars is real. No, they did. They brought time travel. That's what the World Between Worlds is. They got time travel. That was the bullshit Ex Machina they brought in for Rebels was the fucking World Between World bullshit. It worked great for Star Trek and the best movie of the franchise with whales. Oh God. Greg says, I knew that was coming. Fuck those goddamn whales. I feel like donating to commercial whalers despite it. Greg then says, Star Trek did to do a good time travel story. City on the Edge of Forever. Dan Blackbird says Stargate found the secret to time travel in Hammond's bush. They went all the way back to the 60s. Hey, Brandon Tran, how's it going, dude? Saying hello there. Sorry I'm late to the discussion. Hope you both are doing well, and then we hope you're doing well as well. We're caught up on the chat. All right. Let's bring some pain, shall we? Yep.
Yes.
All right, here we
Dragon
go.
Ball GT trailer.
I was going to go Fantastic Four trailer.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's go. All right, here we go. I don't know why it's continuously in that little loading loop, but it is. Here we go. All right, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly sell.
Why do I recognize that guy from?
Oh, no.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That is fantastic. You're late?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You're late? I just said that. Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world.
And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the
What is going on here?
We can do this.
I have no idea.
He's going to change.
I don't like Marvel humor.
Are you the protectors of this world? Yes, we are. Your planet is now marked for death.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I had no superhero ever.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
Oh, I've finally seen him do some stretching.
We will protect you.
I still think going for Galactus.
So much better than Thunderbolts.
I couldn't help but notice some things.
Grogu wasn't in there.
Well, no, thank God Grogu wasn't in there. No, I just noticed certainly. Again, if Marvel Purist is in the chat, he'll have to correct me on
Woman
this.
power.
Yes, a little bit. Like you see, like Sue Storm certainly seems to be more of the motivational speaker in this. The one certainly also stepping up the first, at least the way the trailer is presenting things. That's the thing. This is the way the trailer is presenting things, as her being much more the dominant figurehead for the Fantastic Four, when I could have sworn that was generally Reed.
Yeah.
Because even he's kind of like, huh?
Well, because the Force is female.
And again, kind of the motivational words more coming from her than.
This is almost reverse of as silly as the Fantastic Four with even was not Eva Mendes. Who was it? Oh my goodness! See, she does not like the trailer. Who was the original one with the guy from Nip Tuck? He played Doctor Doom, and
that's not even the original Fantastic Four, but the Fox Fantastic Four. Hang on, let me get that really quick.
Victor, who played? It's not Eva Mendes. Who was the other? What's her name?
Oh, Jessica Alba.
Yes. So the Reed Richards in that movie, he was the more dominant one. Well,
yes,
not when it came to her, and not when it came to her and Victor Von Doom, but yeah, it was like woman power. We'll do it as a family. Like that's the dude's role. That's the guy's role to say, not the girls. I mean, it's not saying that they can't, but it's very
like I said, there's just some things that are kind of making me kind of go, eh.
You want to know what's going to be crazy?
What's that?
Watch them gender swap Galactus into a girl. Galactus it. It'll be Galactus it.
That would not surprise me one bit. Star Wars Marvel Purist says Denim Shields explained to his audience what being late and periods are. Oh my god. No, just no. And then says riveting analysis. He called that scene about pregnancy quote unquote great writing. Sue is pregnant with Franklin Richards. Wait, is it? I thought that was just Marvel humor for them not literally.
No, and apparently that character is supposed to be one of the most powerful characters within the MC, not the MC, but the somebody from work who's been reading comics for 30 years said that he's one of the most powerful characters in comics and Marvel.
Franklin Richards,
yeah, supposedly,
like they made a super kid.
Yeah, it was just crazy because who would have thought Reed Richards and Sue, whatever her name is.
Well, and it's just funny since they aren't like mutants; they were changed through cosmic radiation. So,
right, but he's almost a mutant. I guess he's not classified as a mutant.
Yeah, I think he is. I don't know. I don't know everything about it. I just know little bits here and there. But there's stuff in this that really, and I guess I could say the same. Thunderbolt, same thing. It was more Yelena taking charge than say Bucky.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
And as I found out, yes, there is a female Silver Surfer. So this isn't out, but that's the thing is that when you say Silver Surfer, though, you think of immediately the dude. You don't think of the female iteration. For people that only saw the Fox movies, that's what you remember. For anybody that saw like the cartoons and stuff, same thing. It was the male Silver Surfer. And anybody that's been reading the comics, for mainline, it's still been the male Silver Surfer is the lead, as I understand it, right? So, yeah. But yeah, so that was some of the stuff that I saw around. I think I said it when we kind of were first checking this out. Some of it doesn't look half bad for like the kind of like retro future tech stuff that they're doing. But when you start getting more of these story details, things are kind of starting to show their show through their Oh, so they really are pregnant. I'll be damned. They're really just jumping into that one, aren't they? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
Was
this
there
one.
an actual female? Was it the Silver Surfer? Was she actually female in the comics? I thought she was male.
Yeah, no. The main line is the male Silver Surfer, but there is a female one out there. I bookmarked it. Even I found somebody talking about it. So yeah, I found this here. This person talking about it on X. Before anyone complains that Silver Surfer got gender swapped, it is not true. A female version of Silver Surfer exists in the comics. I just don't know her name. But or her original, because even the male Silver Surfer has an original name, if I remember right. But yeah. So there is one, but again, like I said, anybody that thinks of Silver Surfer will go towards the default male. Because again, they probably saw either the Marvel Fox Marvel movies back in the day with Jessica Alba and everything, or even the 90s. There's the 90s cartoon for Fantastic Four where Dr. Doom was voiced by Simon Templeman. Best voice actor, best fucking person to play Dr. Doom ever. And that's why I've said, just make it a whole, Darth Vader thing. Don't even show the guy's face. Just have him show up in the suit with the voice and everything. Have Simon Templeman do it. It'll be perfect. But anyway. I don't have a part, like it still is. The fact still stands. I don't have a particular interest in this movie. I just bring it up just as subject matter, just to, just to kind of stray away from too much Star Wars, because I can only take so much Disney Star Wars. So I don't know. I think there's some warning signs thanks to this trailer, and they're having some other warning signs thanks to some articles that have dropped out there. There's nothing that's really thrilling me about this movie, and I don't care for Pedro Pascal. I don't think he's that great of an actor. I don't see why he's being put into so much crap. I don't get why he's this hot ticket actor right now, but he is. I don't know what else to say. How about you, Hitman? Oh, Hitman had gone muted. I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, that's my main points on it. Like I said, I think there are there's gonna be problems with this, and I think it'll only be revealed much more either with more trailers or just the full movie when people go and see it, and the problems will be talked about. Or, you know what? People will just probably go full corpo dick sucking shill mode and love the shit out of the movie. Either of those things, but I certainly have no interest myself. And let's see what the chat. Do you have any final words there, Hitman, on the Fantastic Four? Okay.
I
don't blame you.
You just gonna be sexist because why can't they be female? It's like if that was the case, it would have made them female. So
From
don't
the
get
start,
mad because
yeah.
yeah, don't get mad because they're not female. That doesn't mean that they were sexist. They mean they just created them, as male. There are female superheroes out there too. So
Yes,
you
there
can't play
are.
that card. You can't play that card. Just like, people say, oh, there's no females in Star Wars. Like, yes, there was. My future ex-wife, Mara Jade.
I love how you always say future ex-wife.
Mara Jade. Princess Leia.
Jan
Mon Mothma.
Ors. Bastila.
Bastila. Shatil.
Yep.
I'm so
Mhm.
excited for how much time we have left. There's a couple ones I want to go over because I don't know if you saw in Discord, but they're making your favorite. This is up your wheelhouse. One of your favorite characters.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that.
Maybe not the
I'll
not-
bring
not
that. I'll bring that
top.
one up next. Hang on. Greg Hates Everything said Star Trek the original series season 1. I believe that's for the episode he mentioned. Shaka Zulu says best time travel story was the Donner cut. Dan Blackbird, stop spoiling us. Dan Blackbird said 12 out of 10, not quite the 20 out of 10 Thunderbolts got, but it's back on track for our man Kev. Shock saying, did they take out all the fake kid laughter from the last trailer? I have no idea. Brandon Tran says, don't know if you've seen the Tron movies, the video game Matrix, like Tron 1981 with Jeff Bridges, or the sequel that Tron Legacy came out with CGI light cycles in 2010. I have not seen the Tron movies. No. And I know that they announced some new movie that's not actually connected to the first two or something. But like, I'm really out of the loop when it comes to Tron. I haven't seen either of those movies. I might have to with my vacation time. And I also have to watch Tombstone and Heat. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those are a couple other movies I have to watch. So I guess, those just made the list. Dan Blackbird says literal goosebumps. Shaka Zulu says, God, Pedro is such a bad actor. Yeah. Greg Hates Everything says silver boobs greater than silver dong. I mean, you're not wrong there. Dan Blackbird says, Sue Storm, quote, it has to be us. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. God damn it. Shaka Zulu says, I still think Fantastic Four makes more than James Gunn's movie.
That's a stretch. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Superman has more brand recognition than the Fantastic Four. Personally,
You do?
I think so, just because I feel like Superman especially has also had a little more, movies that has been more regarded. People dumped on the Fox Fantastic Four movies initially. Yeah, you had some people that liked them and everything, but like they were generally, last I knew, they were kind of panned for a good chunk. And then people either ironically started liking them or legitimately did start liking them, especially with recent Marvel slop. Definitely started to like them, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know though. It's gonna be an interesting, because I think they're coming out both around the same time, so it's gonna be interesting to see these movies go kind of head to head. See who's gonna be the victor in this one. Which cape shit will beat the other cape shit? Round 1, fight.
Yeah.
Greg Hates Everything says, never watched the gay drunk pirate series. Don't care for Tron like the first 2 Matrix movies. Really? Even the second movie with the giant long drawn out cave orgy dancing scene and the weird dreadlock ghost guys and stuff? I don't know. I felt like the movie, the first Matrix was top tier. After that, it was like just this decline. It was like the over explanation of something good. Kind of like me on Sundays talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine and why Brad has to trim me down so much.
Yeah, hour talking. That's crazy.
I know. What can I say? You let me start rambling and I ramble. Dan Blackroyd said, Franklin is speaking through Sue. You don't understand the abilities of a cosmic level being. We are all just puppets of the Force. Star Wars Marvel Pure says, who is the MacGuffin for the movie? Give Galactus Franklin or else. Oh, God. Greg hates everything. Says his... Go ahead.
I just don't know enough about Fantastic Four to understand Franklin Reed and Galactus.
I know very little. I know that Franklin Richards is kind of like this Omega level mutant. And
he's not a mutant though. How can he be a mutant? His parents weren't mutants.
Just because his parents weren't mutants doesn't mean he can't himself be a mutant or considered a mutant, because he's still human. Sure. He's still a human being, but then born with special abilities and powers. That's just basically what the mutants are. There's human beings with special abilities and powers that they were born with. That's why not even Spider-Man can claim mutanthood, because he wasn't born with the powers. He was given them through a bite of a spider.
It has to come from somewhere. You can't just poop up mutant powers. There has to be a gene or something. No? Am I wrong?
Okay, I think you might. I don't know. I
don't know. I'm asking the question. We're Star Wars Marvel purists. I've got to know. I
could have sworn they had to be born with the powers and stuff like that. Like, there might be the mutant gene, but I could have sworn like it was specific. Like, they don't have to be, because like that's like some of the whole, their allegory shit too going on. That they could be both normal parents, but then they have a child that just happens to be born with mutant powers. It's kind of like how even like in Star Wars, you can have two parents very strong in the Force, but give birth to a dud. It's happened.
Milk dud.
Yeah. Revan and Bastila gave birth to a dud child.
That's crazy.
Even Satele Shan had a kid that was not strong in the Force.
They just haven't hit puberty yet.
Greg had said his audience probably does not know how babies are made. Oh, that was to the Den of Shills. Brendan Tran says, outside of Disney sequels, the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies are decent to watch. I never got into. I tried watching the first one. The first one was okay, but I just didn't get into it like everybody else did.
What do you mean?
What?
Why is the rum gone? He's like, why is the rum gone? Because, Captain Sparrow, rum is a vile drink that turns the most reputable men into scoundrels. And he's like, but why is the rum gone?
I've just never been a big fan of Johnny Depp.
Oh my goodness. Are you? He's like, I have a jar there. And then whatsoever, who he was married with was trying to say was like, yeah, that jar of cocaine. And that's why he was laughing, because he was like, she was like, I was a jar, a big jar. He was like, I've got a jar of dirt. No,
sorry.
You need to watch them on your vacation.
I'm not watching the Pirates movies. Yes. I saw the first one. I thought it was okay, but I didn't care to. I didn't care to watch them beyond that.
On the third movie, they're like, Elizabeth's like, Barbossa, marry us, and he's fighting. He's like, I'm a little busy at the moment, and he's fighting on the Flying Dutchman.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. It was not made for me.
You didn't even give it a fair shot. Just like you.
Oh my God! I watched the full first movie. God.
Well, I don't know how accurate that is. Being on your recliner or your couch watching a movie is not the same as like actually watching the movie.
What? It's just the same.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Because
it
you
is.
you can watch a movie in your living room and not be paying attention to the movie, or you can be in your living room watching a movie and actually watching the movie.
Yeah, I actually watch the movies that I sit down to watch. Not like the stuff that I put on a hard drive and just have playing in the background. But when I'm sitting down to watch an actual movie, especially for the first time,
Listen,
I sit
I'm
down
not
and
calling
watch
you a
it.
liar. I'm not calling you a liar, but I'm not necessarily calling you a truther. So I think you should, and part of your stream, your birthday stream, you should actually stream, because you have like 40 hours to kill. You should probably watch the pirate movie on stream so people can actually see you watch it.
No, I was actually going to watch some Mystery Science Theater while I'm assembling.
Oh, watch something good.
That is good.
No.
That is much preferable than watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
You just watch freaking.
Give me MST3K any day of the week over Pirates of the Caribbean.
You'd rather watch Adventures of Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is excellent. I like watching that movie, but that would also kill my stream. MST3K might not, though.
How do you make that leap? That assertion of it's not going to kill my stream. Why?
Because MST has been much more like freely shared since its initial inception. Spread the Tapes was kind of like their own early meme for that series, and then on YouTube it's like almost freely available on YouTube, or you could like watch it on Shout Factory and stuff like that for free streaming. But like I've done it before, and I don't believe I've got hit, so I believe MST is safe.
There's something fishy about this. I don't know. I think you just don't want to watch Pirates.
No, I don't.
But for the wrong reasons.
But it's also still my plan to do MST. So. You can even ask Sheefster. He and I talked about it earlier today that I had that idea.
He likes it too.
What, MST? Yeah, it's a great show.
Yes, so you need somebody that's non-biased towards MST to convince you to the contrary.
No, but he can confirm that I talked about it earlier. That's my only point.
Well, I don't doubt that you talked about it. That's not in question. What is in question is why you don't want to watch Pirates when you haven't even given it the time of day. You get one movie, and I guarantee you probably can't quote that movie.
I just have no care for Pirates of the Caribbean, okay?
Makes sense? Savvy? Or I should say savvy.
Anyway. Shakazula said there's some things I actually like about the trailer, but Silver Surfer, Pedro, and Girl Boss are gonna ruin it. Star Wars Marvel Purist says Sue is the leader. That's why they cast a cuck like Pedro as Reed. Okay, now that's all adding up. That adds up perfectly.
Because he let what's her name?
Cara Dune.
Yeah,
Gina Carano beat the shit out of him in the Mando episode. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He I mean, you know, he
female too.
He likes his dommy mommies. What can he say? Dan Blackbird said Franklin is classed as a mutant through how he gets his powers. Okay, so he gets it from elsewhere. Yeah, Jessica Alba.
That would make him a mutant then.
I don't know the specifics.
Where I see Marvel Purist needs to be in here because you can't if you get powers. Then
what do they call them in DC? What do they? I forgot what they call them in DC. Because I know they have their special term for them, right?
What are they called in DC?
People with powers.
That's a good question. Not mutants.
No, I know theirs is different. And I mean, even Marvel Comics had to drop the mutants for a while. The term
technically they consider Superman an alien,
right?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't answer that. No, but like if you get your powers from somebody, like if you get your powers, then you're not a mutant.
No, that doesn't always have to be the. I mean, I don't know.
We gotta be very politically correct with this.
Politically correct? What?
Yes. We don't want to offend non-mutants.
I'm okay with offending them. They can get butthurt all they want. I don't care.
That's what I thought made them different. Like they were never really part of like I mean, you had Marvel, and then you had like Fox Studios. And
Well,
I
did you
thought,
ever
like,
watch like the X-Men movies? That's kind of like, even some of the characters come from non-mutant families, but their kids are born mutant.
You can't just conjure up a mutant gene out of nowhere. That's like Amiga becoming a female being pulled from like.
Oh, don't go into that fucking territory again.
There has to be cause and effect. Like you can't just have nothing can spontaneously come out of nothing. You can't just have a gene just come out of nowhere.
I don't know. I don't know all the logistics. Okay.
Well, you're just gonna just create a mutant just gonna be created in the mother's womb, like it's just totally 50-50 shot in the dark. Like, oh, this mom is gonna, something has to take place. You have to get it from somewhere. You can't just have it out of nowhere. Because
maybe it skips some generations. I don't know.
Maybe. Was Deadpool a mutant?
No. He's a creation. And that's always been his thing. He keeps wanting to join the X-Men, but they won't let him because he's not a mutant and he's a giant pain in the ass.
Was Wolverine a mutant?
Yes.
He was surgically altered.
He was surgically altered with the adamantium on his bones and stuff, yes, but his healing factor and the bone claws are part of his mutant gene. Or his mutant whatever powers. But the whole metal claws that was part of the genetic meddling or the body whatever. That was their meddling for that stuff. And they kind of drove him insane with the Weapon X program.
More importantly, I think what we need to figure out and talk about is whether or not Galactus is going to be female.
Female Silver Surfer, female Galactus, it would add up. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's bring on that diversity. Galactus better be a strong black woman.
Watch Dr. Doom be the
the gender bend.
Well, Dr. Doom's actually going to be the leader of the Suicide Squad. That Walker.
What?
Going to be the black.
You mean Thunderbolts?
No, from Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad is DC though, not Marvel.
I know, but I'm saying they're going to change. They're like, it's going to be like that. Where Dr. Doom's going to be some female that runs.
Gotcha.
That's the actor. No, that's what I'm saying. The actor is going to be the girl that is like. Was the leader of the Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Walker.
Gotcha.
Well, what's Walker? Whatever her name was. I forget what her name was. But the black chick.
No, I got you. I got you.
She was black. Not racist. She's black.
You're not being wrong, sir.
This is gonna be really bad. Like I was somewhat excited about this movie. I was like, yeah, this be in it. Like at first, I thought it was stupid because he didn't even look like Galactus. But I was like, I'll give it a shot.
And now, not so much.
Now it's like, no, it's just woman power. It's like, we have to make all superhero women because we have to somehow pay them back for originally making the characters male and have to bow down and ask for forgiveness. Type mentality.
Brandon Trent said, is Marvel Rivals probably going to be the closest Fantastic Four or going to be accurate to the comics? Probably at this point. That Ching Chong Slop, they know how to design them female characters. I'll tell you what. Dan Blackroyd says, members of Project Mayhem have no name. Greg says, with all the idiotic ways that people get powers in the Marvel universe, how is it possible for someone not to be super powered? It's fucking retarded. Get off my lawn. Shakazula says, fuck these people. We want the OG comics adapted, not your new Elseworld shit. No one including you, Reed. Yep. Timon says, Shala Ball. Thank you. She barely appeared in Earth X, not 6-1. Oh, okay. So she's an alternate. God, fuck multiverse.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. They could have done this really, really good. Leave Galactus out, do Doctor Doom, but get the guy who originally voiced Doctor Doom in the animated. He's still alive, is he not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, man. No. Timon says a few appearances and she got killed. Ha! Brandon Trent says original Silver Surfer is Norm Rad. The CGI for Fantastic Four is decent for its time. Yeah, it's not bad. Greg says her boobs are not big enough. That is the only issue. These are facts. I cannot dispute these. Them titties need to be bigger. And let's face it, if she were in Marvel Rivals, she would be busty as hell.
Did you say dusty as hell?
Busty.
I said dusty. I'm like, that's rude.
No.
But yeah, accurate.
Brandon Trent says, curious question. Don't know if you've seen the Tron movies, the video game Matrix, like Tron 1981 with Jeff Bridges, or the sequel with Tron Legacy that came out. No, again, haven't seen them. The Matrix the video game Matrix, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Like the Matrix, the movies, I like the first one. The other two were kind of like, yeah, they're there. They're not bad.
I'd assume the original Tron was better.
Yeah,
right?
I believe the original Tron is held with higher regard than the sequel that came out, the Tron Legacy. But I haven't seen any of them, so I can't speak to those. Oh, unless they made a video game for Tron, and that's what the video game, the Tron Matrix. I don't know. Melissa Lore says Pedro's enough for me to be like, nope. This movie sucks. That's his fair.
Has his own candle?
Huh? What?
He has his own candle that smells like him, apparently.
Why do all these celebrities have fucking candles? Is that true?
It's like, yeah, it smells like him, apparently. I don't have one, of course.
That's how you know he has a candle, though. But you know that, huh?
Look it up. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh my god.
Does he? Or is it wrong?
Oh wait, that looks like a joke site. Hang on.
Oh.
I don't know if this is his or some psychotic fan. I don't know. But this is what I found. You should be able to see it on the Discord.
Oh yeah, real or not real?
Yeah, chat. You let us know, real or not real.
It looks like you can
This
buy
smells
it,
like this smells like Pedro Pascal, ginger, white pepper, cedarwood, bergamot, and vetiver. I don't know. Light up your home with the scent of the internet's cool. What the fuck? Internet's cool slutty daddy, Pedro Pascal. What have you done to our show? What are you doing to us?
Nothing.
This smells like Pedro Pascal candle is the original Pedro Pascal candle, and it must have for anyone obsessed with The Mandalorian or The Last of Us. What the
You're welcome. You're welcome.
They have a whole line of this smells like in different. Oh my god. I hate you right now.
Why?
Oh my god.
You're welcome. Buy yourself a candle. For your birthday.
I like how you just said that. Just buy yourself a candle. Oh fuck!
So you can smell like Pedro.
Fucking hell! Oh,
smell like Pedro Daddy.
Oh god! Brandon Tran says Brandon Roth, actor who was Adam in Legends of Tomorrow and Superman in Superman, looks like Mr. Fantastic. Huh? Interesting. he probably would have been a better choice. Let's see. Black Pill Timon, silver boobs? Where? I got bigger tits than she had. Wow, damn. I mean, yeah, I think I probably do too. Oh God. Now Greg is asking for pics. Greg says, I did say earlier in the chat that the only complaint is that they are not big enough. You did. Them's the facts. Them's the facts. Shaka Zulu says, I remember liking Tron Legacy. Brandon Tran says, first Tron movies are beloved by Gen Z and has incredible Gen Z? Really? Incredible stories about the future. David Warner plays 3 characters. The NPC, Sark, and Ed Dillinger was also voice of Ra's al Ghul in the animated series. Interesting. Dan Blackroy says, are you going to go over the Superman behind the scenes stuff? Head to head, Fantastic Four looks more appealing in what they are showing. Galactus in real form is going to be a draw. Very, very good points. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Superman is somehow going to be the bigger draw, but you know, I don't know. Maybe even the Snyder cult will do some damage to old James Gunn's movie there. So yeah, Black Pill Timon says mutant equal born with X gene, or the mutant gene, whatever you want to call it. Marvel Purist says no Shillabration coverage fractured. We have stuff. We've just been like so wrapped up in everything else, and we've been talking with you, the chat, which is I'm much more happier doing than going over everything of the Shillabration. Like we kind of started with a dud with the Mando Grogu teaser, which you can't even call it a teaser. I think New York Florida Man said it was just the title card. That's it. Like, that's not a teaser. That's not a trailer. That's not even a teaser. It's bullshit. So we haven't really touched the Shillabration as much as I thought we were going to. So honestly, I'm kind of glad. And you know, I'm sure you're going to probably do a much better job covering it. I know Raging Rhino was going over it on Thursday night. I don't want to put people through that cringe. I just wanted more of the snippets in the trailers and stuff like that, and some of the articles that came out about it. Because otherwise, like it is, if you or Melvin is probably also doing some amazing coverage of it too. I don't know if the Gatekeepers Alliance is going to be going over it, so I figure there are some much better people to talk on on some of the topics than us, or at least certainly ripping apart the cringe, or even Grizzy. He's probably also just having a ball with the with any of the shill videos that are coming out with that crap. So Briscoe says, whose side of the family do the parents blame when the kid isn't strong in the Force? That's a good question. Especially, I mean, I guess in the terms of Revan and Bastila, blame Revan, I guess. Like, why did I get more of the Force? You're so strong. What the fuck? Oh no, I guess he'd blame Bastila because she'd be technically the weaker one, so he could blame her. I was going, it's because of you. If only Dad made it with a stronger chick, I'd be strong too. Greg hates everything because it says, pass on the drunk guy liner, gay butt pirate movies. I'm sorry, but to me, he's right. That's all they are. Brandon Trez says, you're missing out on Davy Jones, who is like Pirates' version of Darth Vader.
Yes.
Dan Blackroyd says, I like the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they hide at the Galapagos Islands and the guy gets shot chasing a bird. Huh. Shakazulu says, first 2 Pirates movies are amazing. If you don't like Curse of the Black Pearl, then I'd say don't watch the rest. Greg says, if the Fantastic Four and Franklin being born on 616 and then having Xavier roll up in his wheelchair, everyone will lose their shit and will do 1.5 billion. Fuck, he's right. You just need that one little cameo at the end, and especially, but then probably it has to depend on which Xavier we're talking about here, because it's got. I mean, Patrick Stewart will send them all in a tizzy, without a doubt. I don't know if the new one will, but they'll kind of have to because they killed off Patrick Stewart in the. Was that the Multiverse of Madness that they did that? But who was the first class? James McAvoy? Like, I guess if they, I don't know if he'll be a big enough draw for Charles Xavier cameo, but I guess we'll see.
Patrick Stewart would be bigger.
He'd be the much bigger one, yeah. Brandon Trent says, don't know if you're into science, but thoughts on news that scientists cloned and brought that. So I've heard different things about the whole direwolf thing. And he says, which sounds like real life Jurassic Park. I've heard a few different things when it comes to the direwolves. Like, yes, it's real, quote unquote, but it's also not real because of it's actually being just a different type of wolf that was bred. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it for a couple of weeks since Static 2020 brought it up on his weekend pregame show. So if you go back to not this week, but the week previous week, let's see, it would have been the show on April 10th. We talked about it there. So like I said, I could have sworn there was some weirdness about that whole story too. There's a lot of to me, a lot of kind of shadiness and some I'll call tunnel goblins that were associated with it that might be a bit iffy. Dan Blacker says it was for you, Greg. Black Pill Timon points out DC is metahumans. I remember that from the DC Universe Online video game, the metahumans. That's what I was trying to remember what the word was, and I could not remember it for the life of me. Thank you, Timon. Thank you.
That is.
Yeah. Dan Blackroyd. Yes, hello, dog. Dan Blackroyd says they used metas for a while. Timon says Tombstone and Heat fire. Yeah, like I said, I gotta watch those. Melissa Lord says Fractured. Watch the first Pirates movie. It's great. I thought it was a joke before I saw it. I was like it starred Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, okay, sure. Do I gotta give that movie a
listen to Melissa. You won't listen to me, listen to her. Like, no, don't listen to Hitman. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then someone says the same thing. Oh, listen. Okay, I'll do it.
Melissa Lord then says, but after I saw it, I was sold. Captain Jack Sparrow is my BFF now. Timon says, Inhumans are born with powers too and are not mutants. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing in the whole Marvel Universe stuff. Dan Blackroyd says the X gene is latently carried. And then it says Deadpool is a mutant. Is he? He had other powers added to him with the weapon program, but he is a mutant. I thought he was a talented human being and everything. Then he got he went into the whole, I forgot what of course it wasn't the Weapon X program, but it's the weapon program, whatever. Trying to replicate, I believe the Captain America super soldier serum stuff. And he was given, the regenerative ability, but because he had cancer, that's what then pushed all there's like a weird counteraction between the mutant power that's put into him and his cancer that then made it so he was just disfigured and ugly. Melissa Lore says, and definitely watch Tombstone. It's even more quotable than Jurassic Park. Brandon Tran says Prince of Egypt is an underrated movie. I'd recommend giving a watch to honor Val Kilmer. I guess I got more movies I gotta check out. Add to cart.
Good. It looks like you're gonna have to do the 40-hour stream after all.
Shaka Zulu says, I'll take your entire stock. Oh, this is the for the candle. Dan Blackbird says, Hitman needs a Christmas present. The Briscoe says, does the candle smell like soy? I didn't see soy listed, but I'm sure that's what it's replicating. Dan Blackroyd says, you can smolder with Ian Summerhalder. Shaka Zulu says, I think mankind as science hard enough, just stop. Yes. Okay, so this one here is what Hitman alluded to earlier. You should be able to see it, Hitman, in the Discord. So some of the news, yes, from Star Wars Celebration, fake Star Wars Celebration, whatever the heck you want to call it. But Hasbro reveals incredible new Dash Rendar and Jedi Survivor figures. Star Wars Celebrations 2025. Remember Dash Rendar? He's back in action figure form. Star Wars collectors are getting a real feast out of the Star Wars Celebration. We already got an exclusive first look at Hasbro's new The Mandalorian figures. Oh, yippee yahoo, because that's what I care about. But those were just some of the new toys revealed during the company's Celebration panel. From the return of expanded universe fan favorite Dash Rendar to an impressive lineup figures based on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Oh, damn it, I don't want a water bottle. Check out the sideshow gallery below to see everything revealed at Hasbro's panel. So here we go. We got our boy Dash Rendar here. I don't know. Looks a little off to me. Oh, that's some weird dildo saber. More goofy sabers. Dash Rendar was easily the highlight of the panel, proving that Hasbro isn't shy about revisiting the Legends timeline now and then. In the past, they've also tackled characters like Jaina Solo, several characters from Knights of the Old Republic series. Well, it's all jangling keys, especially like, Knights of the Old Republic is an easy one to just jangle in front of everyone to get their attention. Because, yeah, Revan's very recognizable. So is Malik. And it's like, yeah, how else easier to print some money, especially after you put out the lightsaber of a very dull fucking character that's retarded as shit. And it doesn't get anywhere. So yeah, you kind of have to recoup some expenses with some characters that are very well known and that they know will sell better than Reva. Dash Rendar will be released as part of the 6-inch Black Series line. As for Jedi Survivor, fans can look forward to a Night Sister Marin figure and a 3-pack of Cal Kestis, Turgle, and Scuva Stev. I don't know who the fuck Scuva Stev is. Both Black Series line, Hasbro is also releasing a new Marin figure and a rocket launcher trooper in the small 3.75-inch vintage collection line. Here's the screenshot for some of that. Oh, it looks like is that Balin's skull there, and then we got some of the, oh God, it's like a weird mix of shit with some of the OTs and prequel stuff that I'm seeing here, mostly prequel stuff. Oh no, there's Luke right there, I believe. So OT and prequels. Oh God, it's also tiresome. It's just also tiresome because you got Duke. There's Ezra. I feel ashamed that I recognize fucking some characters. I swear to God. Back, I say, back. Why isn't it letting me go back? What the freak? Hang on. That was weird. Okay. Back over. Okay. Our other highlights include new Black Series figures of Han Solo, Chewbacca based on their Episode 4 looks, in the Vintage Collection play set that features a Tusken Raider and full-size Bantha. I didn't see the full-size Bantha. Where's the Bantha? Hasbro also used the panel to show off their exclusive celebrations release Black Series figure of Star Wars Visions. Oh, fuck. the Ronin and his droid R5D56. What did they turn that into? What obnoxious name did they give that droid then? The two come packaged inside a deluxe box with watercolor artwork and a slipcover. This set is being sold exclusively at Celebration, though if past exclusives are any indication, small quantities may go first up for sale. Hasbro Pulse website after the show. And there's that 11-second trailer, quote unquote. Apart from the Ronin, all of these figures are slated for release in summer 2025. Pre-orders opening on April 18th. In other Celebration news, we got early details of Sean Levy's upcoming Starfighter. Okay, I don't care. But yeah, so here they are, just kind of jangling those keys. Let me see if I can try and actually see more of the Dash Rendar, if there is any. All right, so now we also got a Clone Trooper helmet here. Is that actually wearable? There's the Ronin figure that they mentioned. Like, only if I actually gave a shit about this stuff.
Right.
Doesn't want to load. Oh, come on. Oh, here's the Chewbacca one they were talking about. Okay, now here's the more of the Dash Rendar. Okay, that's not much else. I thought there would have been a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, they gotta find an easy way to get people to buy our shit. Buy our shit. Here's the Han Solo that they're talking about. There's Marin. The quote unquote. Oh, there's the Tusken. If it wants to load the image. Never mind. Don't want to load the image. But yeah, do you got anything you want to add to this whole thing?
I mean, just in closing, I'd say it's just interesting that they, again, want nothing to do with the EU, deem it legends, but then they'll still take advantage of the beloved characters that they've destroyed. So it's like, I just don't, I don't get it, man. Like, it's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane.
Well, they know how to sucker people in. That's the thing. They know how to sucker people in. They know
but
they know how to jangle the keys just right to get people, drawn in. And what the hell? I didn't know Cal Kestis rocked a fucking mullet. What the hell? He looks like James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yeah, he's got the Skrillex hairstyle. So,
but yeah,
they just never ceases to amaze me.
They always find a way, don't they?
It's kind of like,
God damn it, Keely. Like a bantha.
You know what Star Wars Marvel purists called, theory out is like, if you claim to be such a lover of the EU and Lucas, why are you selling, Disney lightsabers? And
right.
So it's like, but again, I mean, so that it's just the whole concept of like if you claim, and it's different because Disney's obviously not doing this, but like they're literally, it just doesn't make any sense. They will do anything and everything they can to make money and take advantage of the very thing they've deemed trash. And I think, and that's just, and it's like, it's so disrespectful because it's like Dash Rendar is a part of a collection of, well, he's a part of canon that you
disregarded.
That you disregarded and said that wasn't canon, but yet you'll take him and sell him and make money. Like it, I think that's the most frustrating thing. It's like it's almost like a real slap in the face, and anybody who's watching, like that's what it should. It should absolutely be a slap in the face. You literally, want to decanonize the canon that George. I mean, there's only one canon. We've talked about this, but you're decanonizing, or you're putting the canon aside that you want nothing to do with. But then you'll go back and you'll sell it to make money.
Right.
So it's like, what? It's just so stupid, and like that's ballsy for them to do. Like, you know what I mean? In my mind, it's like, wow, like you are so like. I don't know if there's a level lower than scum. I really
That's pretty
don't.
low
I
on
mean,
the
if there was,
totem
it would be
pole,
Disney.
yeah.
It would be Disney if there was, right?
That's
But
true.
that's just that's such a scummy thing to do. It's like you're playing both parties.
Yeah. No, that they're.
And you know why? Hey, did you see a Reva character being released? Absolutely not.
No, I believe they did.
Did they? Oh, they're okay. I stand corrected.
Hang on. I believe they did. Oop. Hang on. Keep going. I'll find
Well,
it.
I just like it's like if there wasn't a Reva character, I just wonder like are all of these toys that they're selling EU characters?
Not. I mean, some are EU characters, and then some are Disney Star Wars characters.
Yeah, what's the EU to how many Disney?
Okay, so here it is. I found the Hasbro Pulse. They did have a Reva Third Sister Black Series.
They did, but that was Black Series. That wasn't released at Celebration though.
Well, it doesn't matter. They still made a character for them, or they still made a figure of her.
Right, and I would just say, I don't know. Be wary of what you buy. I'm going to go full on Tim here. Be very wary of what you buy and who.
Oh,
who you
absolutely.
Even if they're
always be wary.
I will not buy that Dash Rendar character as much as I love Shadows of the Empire. I'm not going to do it because where's that money going to?
Well, never buy from companies that are doing scummy fucking shit. That's why I ended up refusing to buy that Donkey Kong Country HD thing. Like, because they weren't giving proper credit to the original, music creators for that game. And I think that's scummy as shit.
That shows you how shiesty they are. They're playing on the emotions and the nostalgia in a whole different. They're playing on the whole different field. They're how do I want to say this? It's like they're double dipping, and they're dipping in the dip that they didn't want to dip in. And nobody, at least in the United States and Canada, likes a double dipper. You go to a party and somebody double dips the bean dip.
No, the war. Like there will be a war.
Yeah, many deaths have happened.
Many Bothams were lost in this double dip.
Yeah. Literally. So.
Oh God.
But again, I don't know who else you can buy from if you collect memorabilia other than like apps, like movie set stuff. But like, I don't know of any other place you can buy where Disney isn't going to get your money.
Save for buying things secondhand on like eBay or something, but that's about it. But then you're still giving money to somebody that bought something they gave Disney money.
Right. This is the same point I try to make with Steam. Like, you buy from Steam, yeah, they're taking 30% of the cut, but your other 70 or 80 or 70% is going to the people who actually made the game. That's why I have a problem with. It's like, well, I'd at least they're only getting 70 versus 100, and I'm much better giving 30% of it to Steam than I am the original developers. But at the end of the day, you're still giving them money.
Well, and it's like, should Valve not get nothing for helping distribute somebody's product on the most popular platform for PC? No. Like, I think it's a crazy cut, but like at the same time, like.
You think 30% is justified? Like, that's a very 30-70?
Considering the popularity of Steam and the monopoly market that they have,
well, here's the thing, and I'm not complaining.
I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that they have the most. I mean, the thing is like today, people can distribute their stuff however they want.
I don't know. You can argue this from both sides, but you can be like, well, they didn't create the game. I created the game, so I should get the higher percent. But okay, well, what about book writers? Book writers do outside an editor, they write the book, and some people even edit the book themselves. I got a buddy who wrote a book, and he did all the work. He did, he had a buddy proofread it, and he sells, he sells on iTunes and whatnot. That's called Pulpit Fiction, but like he gets very minimal proceeds. He gets like it's crazy how much Amazon and
Takes
iTunes
from
take. He did all the work,
right.
So on that side of the argument, I'm like, well, yeah, he deserves more. But on the other side, it's like, well, you're also not distributing it.
Yeah,
again,
you're kind of cutting out certain legwork that you don't have to do anymore.
You don't have to do a lot of work, I don't think. Like if the game's established, like Jedi Outcast, right? Like how much do you really have to like PR that and distribute it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it 70% of what they're taking? And again, they own the rights. I get that, but I also think that like Steam probably should get a little bit more a fair cut because they're doing a lot of the legwork. So you can make arguments on either side of it, but I don't
absolutely.
Know. At the end of the day, the people that you're fighting and trying to stand against are still going to get your money, and that's the most frustrating thing. There's no way you can get around it.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like people that want to not buy made in China. No matter what, you're stuck because one way or another, that product was made somehow by the Chinese.
Some way or another, they're gonna get money. So you'll never ever be able to escape that.
Like, and you can only I'd say you can only mitigate it to the best of your ability. I guess
the question though,
do what feels best for you on the matter.
But I would pose this question: is taking 30% out of 100% and giving it to somebody else make you sleep better at night if you just gave that company 100% of your money? Does that make sense? Like, can you sleep better at night knowing, hey, I screwed them out of at least 30% of their
was it screwed out of, or was it the agreed upon amount? That's the thing. Because you have to agree to put your thing. You have to agree to put, walking into something like Steam, that there's going to be a cut taken. And if that is the agreed upon amount, then you agree upon that amount.
Here's the thing though.
That's up to you, but it's up to you to change, to go in with either a better lawyer or better negotiating skills to manage your cut better. Because like I said, you could start your own website and distribute your stuff yourself. That's the big thing of this. No, but if you want to self-distribute, you have to do it somewhere. And yes, you will have to, unfortunately, take that cut of brand recognition or whatever you want to call it, the eyeballs on your product somewhere.
And Disney could afford that. I think it would probably just be lazy, and there's a reason why they choose Steam, and it's probably because of their platform. But at the end of the day, Disney holds the bigger stick. Whoever owns the IP holds the bigger stick because Steam it's like they need each other, right? But Steam needs them more than they need Steam because they own the IP. Steam can't distribute the game unless they have the contract, unless they negotiate. So if Disney says, or Lucasfilm, whatever, come in and say, hey, we agree to let you distribute this, but our cut's going to be 70% and you can have the 30,
right? Which is,
Steam can try to negotiate, but they hold the power. They dictate how much, and they can be nice and generous and be like, no, we'll give you 35, we'll let you take 4. Like, but it's Disney and they're not going to do it. My God, these people charge $8 for a bottle of water.
But here's the other part of it too, is that with Steam is that they also still have to maintain their server costs. They still have to maintain their side of things, which is why they take the 30% when they could, screw it, go, let's do 50-50.
Here's the thing though, and you're more IT than I am. You worked at EA. You're telling me that server costs that much, server overhead, you need to make that much money. Like,
if you are looking at Steam now, do you not see the mass amount of video games that they have on their platform? That means allowing people to download those games at any time. And now especially, even games that are delisted have to remain for people to still be able to download them if they purchase those games. They still have to be allowed access to those games. So that means they have to maintain server costs of some kind. So that's just even one aspect to everything. So that's where,
how much is the server cost? What is the server cost?
I don't know the exact cost of servers and stuff like that, but
like a server, are you talking about like a room, like a server room, like if you're playing Call of Duty, or
I'm talking about like the equipment that maintains the connection between your downloaded program of Steam, then the connection to their database, basically, to the
a lot. You're saying that costs a lot.
Yes.
To maintain.
It is not dude, it is not an easy thing to maintain too. Like you have to have, that's why they have like they have the whole IT profession. They have programmers and data, and they have like, I'm trying to remember how
hard is to do that, though? How hard is that? It's not construction. You're not out there moving bricks and building houses. Like you're literally.
It's think of it as like just a different type of construction. I mean, think of it. Even at work, they have to come in and maintain our internet and servers and data and stuff like that. They have to come in locally and do that too.
I'm just a baby boomer, and I just have always had this presupposition that IT people get paid way too much money for what they actually do.
Some
but again,
do,
that's just my
but
because I don't know a lot about it.
Some do earn that pay, and I did. An old gaming buddy of mine was heavily going through that stuff in college and stuff, and he used to talk about it all the time. And all that like Cisco stuff is freaking ridiculous to do. I remember taking a course in high school for Cisco Academy and stuff like that. Like they had a little special like a special elective course or whatever that you could do, because the gal that used to be a part of Cisco worked at the school teaching. And like, dude, that stuff is big brain. I could bear, like,
listen,
it was insane. Like even just trying to crimp together the Ethernet cables together and stuff, like that stuff you have to really meticulously, align properly and get it right. So then once you've got it crimped on and you don't have to make any redos, making sure it plugs and works and everything, like, and then just the mathematics of it all. Holy shit. Like,
I'm not saying they don't.
My brain fried in that course. It was way above. Like I was like, I can do this, and then I get into it, I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Here's the thing, and I want to be very clear. I'm coming at this from a perspective that has no knowledge of computerism or bionics or whatever. So I may sound very ignorant in this, and I own that. But in my simple
I get it.
caveman mind, I'm like, you're telling me computer stuff, like computer, like just it's that hard. Like I get it. I don't have the knowledge, so it's far be it for me to say it. But I'm like, the cops and firefighters need to get paid what these IT guys.
I mean, they absolutely should be paid much more than the IT guys. Absolutely, considering they're putting their lives on the line and everything.
Like I'm like, I just remember the guy off Gold. Did you ever watch the GoldenEye?
Oh yeah, of course.
I just remember, like, you're Boris. We're paying Boris. we're paying Boris $70 an hour to just twirl a pen, click it, and I mean, obviously, I say that with some,
Yeah, you're being funny.
But that's, I mean, literally, I don't get it. But the point I was trying to make with all this is like, I don't even know where I was going with that. Is like, if you feel a little type of vindication, giving at least 30% of you're buying the game, right? So you're still spending $100, right? But 30% of your $100 at least goes to somebody else and not Disney, and so you can, I guess, take some satisfaction out of the fact that, like, oh well, you're only going to get 70% of my money.
Well, and that's why you also are careful with when you buy. Like it is, I'll usually nowadays try and wait for a good sale to pop, and then I'll maybe buy something, but it has to go down. It's like a lot of games for me have to hit the price of a sandwich, usually pre-inflation.
Right. I'd say this, and I don't know if you want to wrap up, but is there ever going to come a point in time that you think that game developer or the gaming industry or whatever the companies will need Steam more than Steam needs them? Will the tables ever be flipped? Does that make sense? Like,
it would have to require Steam to shrink considerably in relevancy, and they'd have to actually have other legitimate competition. I'd say GOG is probably a good one, but they got a lot. They got a lot to catch up with. But I think with their whole their program for making old games available, and especially now with that new program of theirs, what was it? The oh god, what did they call it? God, they had something specific for it. Hang on. The preservation program. So with GOG's preservation program and the fact that all their games are DRM free, you buy the game, you download the game, you can download it and store it on a hard drive. It's yours to keep, install it anytime you want, requiring no internet connection to do so. I think they are really trying to earn some goodwill with the community as a whole. I still have problems with GOG thanks to CD Projekt Red and what their company has done with their with that whole DEI video or ESG video, whatever the hell it was at the time. And here's the thing, GOG has rebranded, because I seem to remember once upon a time ago with GOG that they themselves used to have, maybe before I say this, had a mascot even. Yeah, they had a cutesy anime girl mascot. And they basically got rid of her. So, and in terms to kind of bend the knee to all the social justice stuff going on with all those weirdos. So they eventually got rid of their mascot. So, GOG has, they've done both good and they've done some light, stupid shit in between. Oh, damn. Their Doot 2016 is $3.99 right now. 80% sale. But I think they are really doing some good will with the preserved good old games from not just PC games, but also old console games. They're really trying to the idea for game preservation is great to see, because that is something that is definitely needed. And even shitty games, good games, all games should be preserved for history to see and play, anybody to play and stuff like that. So, I think like it is, GOG is probably the only competitor out there that could maybe stand up. I just think they don't need to do too much. I don't think they need to be too much like Valve and what they've done with the Steam thing. The good thing is that their whole like GOG Galaxy program is optional. You don't have to download that. It is entirely optional. So I think that's good. Unlike Steam, where you have to use their app to download games and everything. So they're a competitor, but they got a long way to go. Way to go. So, how much time do you have, sir?
I need to be wrapping up here.
All right, let's just get through. Let me just get through these last bit of chat really quick. Brandon Trent says some scientists have pointed out that the dire wolf isn't the original, right, but a gray wolf with dire wolf DNA by Colossal Biosciences. Yeah, like I said, there's just a bunch of weird stuff. Briscoe says, to hell with Dash Rendar. I want Ash Rendar figure. Dan Black Red villainy. Dan Black Red that says, is that the classification worse than scum? Dan Black Red says, who put the dip in the dip? Oh God. And then says, who was that man? I'd like to shake his hand. Dan Black Red said, book writers, like authors. Captain Keeley said, many Bothans died for the preservation of this dip.
Yes.
Dan Blackray says, computer tisms. We're all about the tism. Black Pill Timon says, Nintendo don't go on sale. No, they don't. They do not. And especially now with Nintendo, definitely people go to your local game shops, buy refurbs and everything like that. Give them the finger. Give them the big old finger, because screw Nintendo at this point. All right, folks, we are calling it here tonight. Oh my God, what a turnout we had 14 people. We got 14 likes over here on the YouTubes. Holy crap, you guys showed up. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're all awesome. Let me just switch on over to the ending here. Here we go. Let me even kind of kick on a little bit of that marching in the background and everything like that. So thank you so much to everybody that showed up. Briscoe 1234, the new face in the chat, much appreciated there, guy. Black Pill Timon, of course, and Dan Blackroyd, dude. Thank you so much. You are always showing up as well to this. And Timon and everybody else, thank you. Melissa Lord as well. We had a jump in from Greg Hates Everything. We just also go over to the YouTube side really quick. Star Wars Marvel purist Shaka Zulu, who is #1 first in the chat. We had New York, Florida man.
Hopefully Static's okay. He's usually
he might be resting from the Vegas trip. He might be resting from that.
Yeah.
I know we had more.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's still out there.
Yeah.
We had the backseater, of course. I hope his show has been going well. Duke Devil 95, Brad, he showed up. Thank you very much, sir. Decrepit as well. Which next week I will be joining him for the anniversary celebration of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Check that out over on his channel on the Thursday night. So I may be missing weekend pregame that day. Captain Keeley, of course. I think I said him. Steve, thank you for dropping by, dude. Nerdy Neo. How could I forget the nerdiest of Neos? Thank you, dude. Okay, and I think I got everybody. We had a bit of technical difficulties, but I worked it out in the end. Shaka Zulu saying night figs, night sir. I hope you survived your trip out there to the Vegas and Dermy didn't molest you too badly. Brandon Tran says, have you heard movie theaters kicked out people because of they threw popcorn for watching Minecraft?
I heard that. Yeah. I
don't know if that happened. Anyway, yeah. Hang on, what was it too? I saw somebody mention more movies. Never mind. But yeah, so again, thank you everybody so much for being here. We'll be back same bat time, same bat channel next week. And of course, on April 23rd, I will be doing the birthday stream. Catch it when you can. I'll be trying to go for most of the day, so we'll see what happens. There'll be breaks in between and stuff. I'm going to be building the Back to the Future Lego set of the DeLorean. My brother got that for me for my birthday, so I'm looking forward to putting that together, while maybe also playing some video games in between. And also I might be doing a video game. Oh, Brandon Tran. Did I forget about you? I'm sorry, Brandon Tran. Thank you for showing up, dude. You two have been a long stay as well. Practically said he's an OG for us. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Much appreciated, brother. Really. I do. And I'm sorry I missed you. Black Pill Timon says bye. But yeah.
Bye.
All right, guys. You all have a great evening. Keep an eye on this channel. Keep, of course, an eye on the Fractured Filter Gaming channel on YouTube as well, because I'll probably be multi-streaming between those two things. We'll catch you next Saturday. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage!